most likely here in studio. Look at that. Place it, lock it, attach it, verteball, all sorts of great stuff over there if you want to roll out those old tired muscles and you don't want to go with that old lacrosse ball. They're also coming out with that very new product that you can see right in front of you. And if I head on over to my cart, look at that. I've already got a verteball over there. A little bit of a deal right there. And if you hit the try for 60 days risk-free, use the promo code FNP, you're going to get 20% off your order with that code FNP at SimBody.com. You're really, really helping out another local company here in New Brunswick, Canada. Can't wait for it. The new name, SimBody at SimBody.com. And as we always say, let's get into it. And just like that, we're back. Look at that. Yeah. Got to throw that logo out there in the middle. But we're back, and we're live for UFC 277, the main card, the Sidekick. We're joining in, watching the action right now. Morono, Semmelsberger, and Alex Morono having a really good round. Over in the chat, Malone Hart, Dober about to start getting a really large following, hopefully so. I mean, the guy's been around for years and years, but it never seems like he gets his due. That was a giant body shot finish.
And he kind of proves our point when we talk about the Elias Theodoro theory. It's like, hey, you can lose fights if all of your fights are awesome no matter what. And that's kind of the case. Like, Drew Dober, is he always going to beat guys in the top 10, top 15? Maybe, maybe not. Like, they're going to be competitive fights, but we all really like Drew Dober because none of those fights are going to be boring. So hopefully he is able to get a bigger following because that last one was absolutely insane.
Rob G, Malone Hart, Phoenix, Debbie, and Gabriel. Debbie saying, let's go. And listen, so far, I mean, what we always do with the old Sidekick, we give you a bit of a look into the fights that we're having. I mean, for Morono almost doubling the strikes, and he really did look good in that first round of that one. And Sirkan saying Abdul Wahab stole the show against the stupid Mays. Yeah, Abdul Wahab made of what $2 steaks are made of, and he's had a few of them. But man, he was tough in that one.
But we were saying that's like a star-making performance. You know what I mean? Like, I definitely wasn't that high on him before that fight, but now I'm like, oh my goodness, I cannot wait for this guy to fight again.
Yeah, I mean, a great opportunity for him there, especially on a pay-per-view card. And I don't really know how many eyes are on this pay-per-view. It doesn't seem like it's one of the bigger ones this year, but I think for Abdul Wahab, that's a huge, huge win for sure. Malone Hart hitting up a giant super chat. Thanks y'all for the hard work each and every week. Y'all are machines. Matt Semmelsberg is coming out hot and fast against Alex Morono to start off this second round. Debbie saying, how about Morales tonight? That one was nice. And I mean, listen, Adam Fugit's another guy. Like, he landed some hard shots in that first round.
He made a really good account of himself. I know he was a massive underdog, and listen, nobody expected him to win that fight, so he put up a great effort for what it was worth, so I am excited for him to get back in there, too.
Yeah, and I mean, listen, these two guys are throwing here between Semmelsberger and Morono. Semmelsberger finally lands a nice jab there, but yeah, I'm really interested to see how this one goes on. Big mouse under the left eye of Semmelsberger. And another right hand lands from Morono. It's kind of been the story of the fight. Morono in and out.
Yeah, exactly. He's been able to land his shots and then get away from the shots of Semmelsberger. So it's been really nice for Morono so far. He's just so much faster on the feet.
Yeah, and I mean, kind of crazy to think, like, our next fight's going to be Magomed, Ankalaev, Anthony Smith. Like, we start to get into the big deal fights.
That's like a top tier, fight night made of, okay, maybe not top tier. That's a bit of exaggeration.
No, but I mean, you kind of compare it to next weekend. Yeah, you have Thiago Santos and Jamal Hill. Ooh, big left hand lands for Semmelsberger.
He also got tagged like 3 times there, though. He's a lot slower than Alex Morono. I didn't think that would be the case at all.
Malone Hart, would you rather take a leg kick from Gaethje or body shot from Dober? Probably the body shot. Those leg kicks are wicked.
Yeah, but I don't think he can die from a leg kick. And didn't Harry Houdini die from getting punched in the stomach? I know that's a weird thing to say, but I'm like 90% sure that caused his death. So I'm going to take the leg kick from Gaethje.
Oh, Houdini. Matt Semmelsberger trying to fight through it. And this is the thing, I mean, trying to get a good read on this fight. Like I said, like I'm surprised Semmelsberger's here in his career. I had this one down as my biggest 50-50 fight of the week. And you can see, I mean, Semmelsberger trying to land these big power shots from distance. Spinning back for his attempt from Morono, but he follows it up with that right hook that just continues to find a home. So, I mean, yeah, really the story of this fight's been the speed of Morono and the accuracy of his shots.
It definitely has been. He looks levels above Matthew Semmelsberger.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised, like, on the walk-in before we went live. Like, John Anik was like, and a lot of people think this guy could be a contender in this division. Oh, whoa, pump the brakes. He beat Martin Sano his second to last fight.
Exactly.
Semmelsberger, though, with a big back piece. Got to make it a lot bigger if you want to get on that Tom Aspinall, like Alexander Volkov level.
Yeah, exactly. I think Volkov is like the poster boy, though, for wild back tattoos.
Halfway through this round, Morono, again, making a good account of himself in this one. Fighting at home in Texas. Trying that spinning wheel kick again. Wasn't able to land in the first round, but he threw that with great intent.
Could you imagine if Alex Morono joins the likes of, like, Edson Barbosa with some sort of poster wheel kick?
I think the UFC said, hey, Edson, you have one of the greatest knockouts of all time. We use it in our highlight reel. We're going to keep putting you up against highly skilled wrestlers. And I don't think they did him any favors in his match against Ilia Topuria.
No, they did not. That's going to be a wild fight, though.
Question over there in the comment section with Jason Jackson, the UFC. He fought on Contender Series and hurt his leg, so that was the end of the fight. But I think he'd do very well. I think like the upper tier, those Bellator guys, when you look at Yaroslav Amosov and Jason Jackson, I think they'd have some success.
I'm just trying to think about what guys in the top 5, top 10 that they could go up against. I guess we don't have the rankings in front of us, but...
Like the Li Jingliangs, the Santiago Ponzinibbio's, I think they'd have good fights.
Yeah, for sure. I was just trying to think, like, Jackson could probably beat, like, Jorge Masvidal. I'd say that. Be a good fight, though.
That's good. Good win. Should have listened when you said Mays was a parlay buster. Yeah. Yeah. Unranked heavyweights, and you got one that's a minus 200.
It's just the worst division in the UFC. Let's call it.
Oh, big left landed for Semmelsberger, and you got a clinch here from Morono with about a minute left. And Semmelsberger with the size just bucks him right off.
Yeah, he's a lot stronger in these positions.
Yeah, he's got to do a lot with the last minute of this one. Gabriel saying, "Where's the clock?" We're not doing the prelims. We're talking about them because they're on. Because if you set yourself up right at the hour when the show starts, it just doesn't really give you much time. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Semmelsberger, 45 seconds remaining. He's got the hands locked. Now he loses it. Morono trying to land some good knees here in the clinch.
Still think it's 2-0 for Semmelsberger. For Morono, my bad.
Oh, Semmelsberger on top. He's got to do a lot with this position. Butterfly hooks for Morono. 25 seconds left. He's holding on to those arms. Wants to hold on to those arms. Oh, now he's going to go for an armbar.
He's going for an armbar.
And he's going to get hammer-fisted for his troubles.
We could see a Hector Sandoval Matt Schnell right here.
Semmelsberger with 10 seconds left. Got to do a lot of... Ooh, that elbow hurt him. And Morono trying to go for the armbar.
I think Semmelsberger might be cut, though.
With a minute left, Semmelsberger, man, landed some big-time ground and pound. But that eye is bad. Malone Hart, do y'all think Morono is reaching his ceiling? Or would y'all predict continued growth? That's a tough question. I don't know, I mean...
This is probably... I don't think he can get into, like, the top 15.
I think with this win, you probably get a ranked opponent. But
Li Jingliang's ranked, like, 14th right now, and I couldn't imagine those two fighting.
I'm going to bring up the rankings here for you. So we'll get a good idea. We'll have a look at the welterweight division, and then we'll try and, pick a next matchup. I'll do the Tapology thing, too, because Tapology's nice when you look at their rankings, just for the fact that you can see who's already got fights booked. But if we have a look at the welterweight division right now... 15, Pereira, Jingliang, Jeff Neal, who's in a fight next weekend in the co-main. Neil Magny, Chiesa, Rachmana, maybe Magny next, if you want to do it that way. But maybe not.
I think he would struggle against any of those fighters, to be completely honest. Again, like, Li Jingliang has way more power than Alex Morono. The grappling
that left eye's bad for Semmelsberger.
That might...
That's one that a doctor ends.
Yeah.
Joe Pfeiffer. Be Joe Pfeiffer. They let him have his t-shirt logo on there.
Good for him.
Imagine if Matt Semmelsberger's eye just pops on live TV. Oh, they're going to let it go. Texas is Texas.
Suspect judges.
Yeah, if you look ahead, I mean, okay, now okay. Rob G, missed the Gladiator intro and Face the Pain. You're darn right I do.
Great nostalgia.
Doctor's gonna look at the eye. He's gonna say he can't fight anymore. There's two doctors in here.
Wow. A second opinion. They're going to let him go. Good.
Oh, they're gonna let him go. Imagine
They're
if
out
that
for
pops.
blood in Texas tonight.
Imagine. CNY Smash Bros, Yo Boys, and the chat, Eternal Hip Hop saying that eye.
What's up, guys?
Semmelsberger's got to let
He's
it all
going
hang
for it.
out.
Wow. If he wins, this will be insane.
Oh my name!
Oh my goodness!
Matt Semmelsberger!
That
Now-
was like RDA versus Benson Henderson.
Just go cup shots like Dontail Mays. Oh boy, he might get bucked out of position.
What was that?
Morono's back up. Oh, Semmelsberger on top. Oh my goodness gracious.
This would be one of the greatest comebacks of all time. What just happened?
Gabriel saying nice guard. Morono's got great jiu-jitsu
He
from
certainly
this position.
does. Probably didn't want to eat a double flying knee.
Slam
after being
from
up 2
Semmelsberger.
rounds. Oh my goodness.
Imagine if he submits Semmelsberger out of this.
That'd be wild. This fight has been...
Kind of like that Ozzy Osbourne song. Just flying high again.
There you go.
Morono's back up.
Back up to his feet.
Semmelsberger.
Wow. But if you're Semmelsberger, this is good.
Oh, he goes another flying knee.
Morono might
hurt.
be out. Yeah. He is hurt. He looks to be back into it now, but...
Get out of there, Travis. This is Todd Grisham levels. Semmelsberger, just why are you wrestling him?
Yeah, he should try to get some distance. You'd think.
Oh my goodness. Giving Morono a chance to clear the cobwebs. Dan Murgliata. Really? Did Dan Murgliata, is he... Oh, he's putting the mouth guard back in.
Goodness.
3:32 left here in the third round.
Get some space, Semmelsberger.
Matt Semmelsberger. Yeah, just tickle that eye a little bit more. Semmelsberger had Morono dropped.
Oh, yeah, he was hurt bad. Trying to go for the Brendan Schaub spinning elbow against the cage.
Yeah, Semmelsberger definitely looks fresh. 3 minutes left in this round. Morono, good breath. He's got some zip to his step, though.
He does look better on the feet now than he did about 30 seconds ago, that's for sure.
Ooh, Semmelsberger throwing fire.
But you've got to think only, 2 or 3 more clean shots to that eye, and it's probably too swollen to continue.
Oh, that's it. There's so many different factors in this one. I would have thought, Morono won the first 2 rounds. Semmelsberger, huge start to this third round, but since that good start, he's kind of let Morono back into the fight. Oh, good left there
Stinging
from Morono.
jab.
Live odds, Morono minus 350 was the underdog going into this fight. Semmelsberger really needs something big, switches stances.
That eye is getting disgusting, though.
Eyes mangled.
Ooh, hit him with a left hook on the way out. That was a nice shot by Morono.
Good shots there from Morono. He's really working those hooks well and tight.
Really, other than that one big flying knee, this has been a lot of Alex Morono in the fight.
Very much it has. 2 minutes left here in the third round. Semmelsberger needs something big. Ooh, he ducks out of the way of that shot. Skipped to my Lou like Rafael Alves on this card. The old peekaboo boxing. It was fun.
It was.
Matt Semmelsberger continuing to try and muster up anything to beat the hometown guy, the home state guy in Morono. Morono looking good. Oh,
Good
big
left
left hand for Semmelsberger.
Morono seems to be okay, though.
Oh, right hand lands for Semmelsberger.
I think that might have got his shoulder.
Morono, I'll just wonky it off. Oh, not good body language from Morono, but he still looks like he's all right once he gets the distance. Semmelsberger's got to get away from that black line. Both guys banging.
landing big shots on the inside.
Who would have thought this could have been a fight of the night?
Not me. I thought it'd be fun, but not like...
Ooh, Morono landed a big right hand. Minute 10 left. Debbie, that eye is a concussion plus. It's not good. Morono. Wobbled. A minute left. Matt Semmelsberger's left eye is not looking good. Morono pressing forward. Debbie saying, what a fight. Oh, Superman punch from Semmelsberger, who gets into the clinch. Seems like probably the worst opportunity for him as Morono now presses the action up against the cage. But big body from Semmelsberger. Oh, trip takedown
Wow.
from Morono.
This will be a big takedown for Morono, because that'll seal the fight for him if he is able to get on top.
Semmelsberger kept his balance.
Because barring like a finish, I don't think Morono's going to lose this.
Morono going for a standing choke. Semmelsberger's got to fight it off. 20 seconds remaining. Let's see what happens. Semmelsberger wants to get out, and he continues to clinch. He's got to go hard. 12 seconds left. These guys are leaving it all out there.
They really
10
are.
seconds left. And they clinch.
Yeah, Morono just trying to close the distance.
That's going to be a fun one. Let's see how the judges score it, but you'd have to think Alex Morono was on the winning end of that fight. 101 to 68, the totals in that fight. And listen, Alex Morono taking on Matt Semmelsberger trying to do his best Brian Barberena. That's who he looks like right now. Swollen and long-haired.
Wow. Not a great thing to be known for.
Rob G saying, is my fellow UK boy Leon Edwards got any chance against Usman this time?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he's got a pretty darn good shot. And
It's
I mean,
tough, though, because Usman is like an all-time great right now.
yeah, the other thing, why Salt Lake City? Why?
Just a weird venue. Is
Salt-
Donovan Mitchell going to be in the crowd? Is that a bet that you can make right now? Like, will Donovan Mitchell be traded by the time of the pay-per-view?
Will Obi Toppin be in the crowd?
Yeah, exactly. Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett are just waving. They're like, hey, guys. That'd be whack.
Great fight from both those guys. Again, I would expect Alex Morono gets the win there. Extending my skid to 3 fights.
All around me are familiar faces. That was really sad. I'm excited to see how much success Anthony Smith can have against Ankalaev. Because I'll be honest, I do not expect him to win. Like, again, Ankalaev is a massive favorite for, like, a reason. He's looked really good as of late. He's really only been hit by a few clean shots his whole entire career. And his 2 losses, well, his 1 loss is to Paul Craig, a Hail Mary submission. So what do you think Anthony Smith can do to have success? Is it the clinch work? Is it some of the kicks maybe? Because we were talking about that in the prediction video. Anthony Smith is one of these guys who offensively with his kicks, he's really good. But defensively with kicks, he does struggle in that capacity too. So do you think he does just have to get on the inside and try to rough up Ankalaev early?
Yeah, I would think that has to be the plan. Because again, from distance, the front kick, the teeps to the body, the kicks to the leg, you think Smith just has to make it a really ugly fight. Like he's used to doing it. I mean, I'll switch the graphic over to that one. Like, he's got a definite opportunity in this one, Smith does, as the underdog. He's been in bigger fights for sure. Obviously, the title fight. For Ankalaev, the slow burn on the way up, a lot of people have him kind of pegged as a future champ, but this is a guy that you have to beat at this stage of your career.
100%. And at this point, I do expect the winner of this fight to fight the winner of next weekend's main event. Even though Ankalaev and Thiago Santos have fought before, I take that back. If Ankalaev wins this fight, and if Jamal Hill wins next weekend, and I'm expecting him to be a large favorite in that fight, I really do expect them to do Ankalaev versus Hill, and then that winner would then get a title shot. Because right now it does seem like Yuri wants to fight Glover, and if they do fight, that does sort of leave one of those weird time and a halves in between a fight. So I could see them doing Hill versus Ankalaev in the meantime.
Yeah, and I mean, when you have a look at the fight between Ankalaev and Anthony Smith, 76% of the fans going with Ankalaev, 64% in the last fight going with Semmelsberger, so didn't go the way of the public there, and Semmelsberger was the favorite in that one. Our next matchup, Pantoja taking on Alex Perez, and it really is... does Perez look like he did on the way up? I mean, you look at it, and yeah, he has that loss to Figueiredo, and it was fairly quick. And
it's gonna happen.
Then it was over, and he's been out since November 2020. I wonder if he's added new wrinkles to his game, and I want to see how his striking looks.
And that would be nice, too. Again, he was a championship-level fighter at one point, so let's say he has gotten better in the time off. Like, imagine how good he could be at this point.
The craziest part is, I mean, for Alex Perez, and you saw Colin Oyama on the stage, he hugged Dana White at the ceremonial weigh-ins. It's a champ camp now. Carlos Esparza is the champ again out of Team Oyama.
They carry themselves different over there.
You like to see that one. Ricky saying Semi the Jedi got robbed. We watched different fights, Ricky. I thought Semi had a shot at the 3rd round because of the knockdown, but even then, Morono fought a good 3rd round. Shots. So, yeah, really is interesting. But again, that fight between Pantoja and Perez, 83% of the fans going with Pantoja.
I'm surprised it's that high. Like, I think Pantoja's going to win too, but I don't think he's going to win by that big of a landslide.
No, I think it really is that the fact that, again, the layoff for Perez, you'd have to think that's the reason why the fans are looking at it that way. But I mean, Matt, we move on to the next fight, and this is the one that was pretty contentious at the start of the week. Derek Lewis, Sergey Pavlovich in that one. 56% of the fans have Derek Lewis to get the win.
As they should.
To 44% who have Sergey Pavlovich. But it's a weird one for Pavlovich to go from the level of competition that he's faced, Shamil Durkimov his last time out, to now Derek Lewis. Like, that's a big jump.
I remember when Pretty Boy, what was his name?
Anthony Taylor?
No. It was the heavyweight who couldn't make weight anymore. He fought Mark Hunt.
Justin Willis.
Thank you. Justin Willis went from fighting Chase Sherman to Mark Hunt. And that's like one of the craziest steps up in competition I've ever seen in my life. This is similar to that, I think. Like, Sergey Pavlovich has never fought anybody like Derek Lewis. And I know Derek Lewis doesn't always beat the best guys in the world. I just don't think Sergey Pavlovich is one of the best guys in the world.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good opportunity for Pavlovich. And in the Super Chat, Malone Hart, is Nunes a quitter? Obviously more talented than anyone else, but she's tapped to basically being tired. Early in our last fight, we had differing opinions on this one. I'll never know. Unless you ask Amanda Nunes with the cameras off, like in the back of a bar.
Do you think she fought out of that choke as hard as she could?
Not necessarily.
Okay, so there you go.
Well, there's our answer. We'll take it that way.
That's
but
the thing.
I also think she's one of the greatest fighters of all time.
Okay, but both of those things can be true.
Yeah, that's the way it is. Land of Blankenship, y'all bought the pay-per-view? Sweet. Of course we did. We buy it every time. UFC 208, bought that pay-per-view.
There you go.
It was what it was. But Lewis versus Pavlovich, interesting wrinkles. And when we have a look at the top of this division, obviously Cyril Gane's got a fight against Tai Tuivasa that, if you asked me if that fight was going to happen 2 years ago, I would have told you, you're insane. But it is going to happen. You look at the rest of the division, Stipe doesn't have a fight. Curtis Blades with the win over Tom Aspinall. Aspinall's going to be out for a while. Volkov hanging around. So you think if Pavlovich wins, he's not going to fight.
Not in a good spot
no,
right now.
And he's not going to fight Volkov because they're teammates. Rojan strikes out there. Chris Dawkins has got to take some time off. Maybe Curtis Blades and Pavlovich if it's over quick, but that's about it.
I'd say we've always been on the higher end of Jairzinho Rozenstruik on this channel. The fact that he's the 9th best fighter in the division is concerning.
The old heavyweight division, Matt. Then we have, of course, the rematch. The first of the rematches, this one
fight.
for the flyweight title. And when you look at it, Matt, I mean, for Brandon Moreno, obviously he's leveled up in so many different areas. He submitted Devison Figueiredo. He loses the decision. There's a draw in the first fight, the old nut shot, which he would have lost. But when you do look at this fight, Matt, I mean, for Kai Kara France, you talk about a guy on a tidy little win streak, and you look at the ways that he's winning. Adversity in pretty well every fight, except for the Garbrandt one. Garbrandt landed a nice, like, 2-punch combo and had some nice kicks early, but that was about it. It was all one-way traffic, and his last time out against Askar Askarov, a close decision, but again, when you're defending 12 of 14 Askarov takedowns, guys don't do that in the flyweight division. Like, if Jared Brooks fought Askar Askarov, I wonder if he'd have success like that.
He might, honestly, just because his style is
Jared
tailor-made
Brooks.
for it. I thought he beat Devison Figueiredo, but that's not here nor there. For Kai Kara France, the big important thing is, it's not just the fact that he defended so many takedowns, it's that's the question mark in his style, is can he keep up with a wrestler of that capacity? Or can he defend that many takedowns in a 15-minute fight? And the fact that someone of his strength and caliber is now able to go out there and grapple in an effective manner too, is just sort of the icing on top. So I really do think Kai Kara France has leveled up his game to now join that championship quality of fighter, but I think Kai Kara France versus Pantoja would be a fun fight if Pantoja's able to win. Alex Perez versus Kai Kara France is a great fight. Like, no matter any of these top 10 in the flyweight division stack up, there was going to be great fights. It's still crazy to me that the UFC almost got rid of this division.
Yeah, it really
Demetrius Johnson for Ben Askren. I know it was fun. Like, while Ben Askren was around, it was a fun time. But, like, when it comes down to quality of fighters,
it's like Matthew Tkachuk for Huberto Uyghur, a first rounder and a prospect.
I don't know a lot about
Florida,
that. But
what are you doing? Bill Zito, what are we doing? Debbie saying random and side note, but good win for your Jays today. Hey, Javi Baez, don't pimp a long fly ball. Did you see that?
I did.
Guriel grabs it, just rests up against the wall. Like, Javi Baez playing with the Tigers this year and Carlos Correa with the Twins. Pitiful. Join winning teams. But when it does come down to this one,
make
Matt,
that money. Who cares?
For Kai Kara France, this should be a really, really fun one. Turpa's saying, thoughts on Hamdi. I mean, I don't know who the hell you match him up with next, but the guy's super tough, and I'm glad to see him hang with a UFC caliber fighter.
Oh, yeah.
And he looked good in that fight.
Chase Sherman is the only logical opponent, I think.
I think
But yeah,
he
he
beats
did
him.
look good. Well, of course he does.
I think he beats Chase Sherman. I think he beats a lot of unranked guys. I know they went from 3-0 to 5-0 because those 2 fights that kicked off his MMA career were bare knuckle MMA fights. So he was allowed to do what he wanted. So it's really weird the way that one was scored. Rob G, Charles versus Islam, early spoiler prediction. Now you're putting us on the spot.
Here's the thing. Not to get crazy in depth, Charles Oliveira is way better on the feet. Like, that's not a controversial statement. He just is. He's like an incredible Muay Thai fighter at this stage of his career. Islam is a lot stronger, though, and I think this is one of the rare matchups where that is going to matter. Like, if Islam can isolate an arm of Charles Oliveira, he is going to have a decided strength advantage, so maybe he could get a Kimura like he did on Drew Dober. So that's kind of my early thoughts on the fight is, this is going to sound wild, but Islam might even be able to win by submission. But if the fight spends any time on the feet, Charles Oliveira is at a massive advantage.
And Turpa saying, surprised me how game Hamdi was. I mean, to get the takedowns late in the 3rd round and to just stay on and keep the pressure on. I don't really like referee stand-ups. I mean, I was kind of rooting for one in the 3rd round because I want to see Mays rally back just for the pick. But just overall with that fight, I really like to see that. I liked his cardio in the fight. I didn't love how he got kind of hammered away in the last, 10 seconds. Yeah. But other than that, Hamdi really proved that he's a tough cookie. And I like the fact that he's not rode hard, put up wet. Like, it's not like he has a ton of injuries from his pre-UFC career. Now, in this one, who knows how that left orbital hangs, but True. I did really like the way that he looked in that fight.
And exactly, how much more what more could an MMA fighter ask for? Like, we're all now going to care about his next fight way more than we probably would have otherwise. Like, it was that impressive of a performance.
Yeah, 100%. So we look at our last fight, and Matt, this is the rematch. In this one, 56% of the fans at Fight Night Picks going with Amanda Nunes to get the win. She's a decent-sized favorite in this matchup. In the rematch, and Shahid, did Amanda Neon winning championship boxing today? I have no idea.
I do not know.
No idea, Shahid. I'm sorry. But when it does come down to this fight, Matt, for Juliana Pena, beat Sarah McMahon to get a title shot, which in, the 2020s doesn't really seem like the one.
No.
But you're still the one. You're still the one I run to. You're still the one with the belt on your shoulder. Juliana Pena, the champ, taking on Nunes, the featherweight champ. Featherweight. Danielle Wolf, 1-0, is a featherweight in the UFC. So that is what it is. But when I do look at this matchup, Matt, it really is a lot of fun because I think Juliana Pena has gained so much stock, almost more stock than any other fighter off one singular win last year, or in the past year rather, because this fight was about 6 months ago. For Juliana Pena, great opportunity. Win or lose, you're still queen of the world. I almost said king of the world.
It's going to be an interesting fight. Again, for Pena was the first fight a fluke. A lot of people are going to say that. Now, for Nunes, again, this is where motivation comes into it. Is she over it? Like, before she had to fight really, really hard all the time because she didn't have a lot in life. Like, she came from Brazil, didn't have a lot. And then she became world champion, and she's been at the forefront. She's had a lot of attention. Like, you become a different person over time when you are a champion, when you are, making a lot more money and stuff. Now, that does get chipped away at over time, and it does take away some of your motivation. So, is Amanda Nunes that same person who had enough motivation to go through the crazy finish streak that she had to get to the UFC title shot? I don't know. That's one of those things, it just kind of leaves overnight. Like, look at Tyron Woodley. Tyron Woodley was champion, and then decided to fight in a much more safe manner, and they could never really get out of that gear once he fell into it. Now, we don't really know about Amanda Nunes. It's only happened one time, but there's enough examples of it now to where it's not a crazy thing to think, okay, Amanda Nunes might be done fighting at championship level. I just don't believe she is.
And it will be interesting to see. I mean, both women look great on the scales. They both said the right things all week. Like, it really seems like last fight was a wash for Nunes. I'm coming in here stronger. Obviously, she has a very tailored approach at her own gym. Now, you'd think at ATT you'd have a tailored approach with some of the best in the world, but you're getting the chance to bring everybody in, and it really is the focus on Nunes. When it comes to Juliana Pena, I mean, Valley Flow striking system. You had Macy Barber there previously, Ignacio Bahamondes at the gym. You have Bilal Muhammad, who's also training out of that one. And for Matt Valley, I mean, things have really exploded there, and nobody talks about it. You never hear Valley Flow striking systems mentioned.
You really don't. It is surprising now that, Juliana Pena is associated with them. But for Pena, this is a very difficult fight. Now, she won the first one, and she put up a really good fight in it, so maybe I'm crazy for saying that, but I'm really curious to see if she's able to get the offensive takedown, because if she gets on top of Amanda Nunes, I think she can have a lot of success, similar to how Kat Zingano was able to all the way back in the day. Now, if Nunes gets on top of Pena, though, it will be the exact same thing, but flipped around, of course. I think Nunes will have a lot of success with her own ground and pound, and maybe even secure a submission win at some point, but it should be a really fun fight. I'm excited for it.
Malone Hart, I didn't get fat until I wasn't poor anymore. The eye of the tiger's a real thing. And it happened to McGregor. It happened to Nunes. It very well could be. That's well said. And I want to focus in on Debbie's question. Is Ankalaev championship contender or just really good? I don't get these odds, like around minus 600. It is a little wild.
Here's the thing. Any division above welterweight right now is just a barren landscape. They're all like the world from Mad Max Fury Road.
It's like walking into a McDonald's at 1 a.m. Things are weird there.
They're weird, but there's more people there. Like, it's harder to get an order there than it is to become champion in the light heavyweight division. Of course, that's an exaggeration, but, like, he's probably going to beat Anthony Smith, but I think we all have a realistic opinion of what Anthony Smith is at this stage of his career. He's like the Derek Brunson, for instance.
Just straight up in the corner of this room is where he's at.
Do we have to, like, flip his face around when we criticize him?
No, we'll give people a view.
The amount of times that you've showed this.
Oh, you can't see it. You can just see the red light off the TV. This is just a... Oh, there he is. So, yeah, you can kind of see him. So, a great bit of the show right there.
But since I know we do have different opinions on this.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't think Ankalaev is championship material. Now, again, the champion in this weight class isn't extremely strong right now. I like watching Yuri Prohashka fight, but I don't think he's going to go on to have, 6, 7 title defenses.
Love to see it.
Oh, yeah, because he's that exciting of a fighter. But, when you fight in that manner, it's very rare that you stay on top for very long. So maybe Ankalaev becomes like a one-time champion, but I just don't really think he puts everything together in a manner that I think of when I think of a championship quality fighter. I personally think Jamal Hill would beat him if the two of them ever fought. And I guess that's sort of where I hold both of them in the whole division.
Yeah, I mean, Jamal Hill definitely goes for it a lot more.
He does.
And he really is a tricky, rangy southpaw. And the best part about Jamal Hill, not just his kicks, but his boxing. It's like if OSP really took a big level up, it'd be Jamal Hill. But OSP, a lot trickier on the ground. Jamal Hill didn't have to find that one out. He was able to really, really mix it up on the feet. But when it does come down to this matchup, Matt, and when it comes down to all of these ones on the show, what we're going to be able to do is we're going to get rid of that logo that's in the middle. We're going to start the 5-minute timer. Now, if there's any stoppages in the action, if there happens to be a cup check, an eye poke, we can pause it. What was it? The ABC changed the rules. You get 5 minutes for an eye poke now?
Yeah.
Whether or not states adopt that, I don't know. So we'll see how that one goes. There's new rules on knee wraps and ankle wraps. So Judo Dan Kelly's probably in a room in Australia smiling based on that one.
I just think of the weird calf sleeve that Luke Rockhold had when he fought Jan Blachowicz.
That dirty, gross shin of his. It was bad. But Anthony Smith taking on Magomed Ankalaev. And when we do look at this matchup, I mean, you consider light heavyweight right now. These two guys ranked up near the top at 205. You look at the recent performances for Ankalaev. A win over Santos before that. Polar Pop, Uzdemir. Krylov before that. You have Iwan Kutsalaba, the 2 fights. For Anthony Smith, the 3-fight win streak, 3-fight finish streak. Ryan Spann, Jimmy Crute, and then, of course, Devin Clark. And not to take anything away from Anthony Smith, obviously you had that Jimmy Crute leg injury in that one. But Smith was doing a really good job with the striking and landing nice long shots with his boxing.
Oh, yeah, he had a really nice jab in that fight. And, of course, the leg kick, which ended up finishing it. Goodness, I had a hard time with that. But it is interesting to see if Anthony Smith can make another run at the title. Again, he's been in a lot of tough fights in his career. He's taken a lot of damage at this stage of his career. He's someone who fought all the way back in Strikeforce, and let's be honest, there's not a lot of those guys around anymore. So for Smith, it would be nice if he is able to come back because he is an exciting fighter, but he has lost to a lot of the top guys in the division at this point.
Doug is saying Smith for the knockout and Jake O'Shea. Ankalaev's up next. Let me know what his walkout song is, because it looks like it's Return to the Mac, and that's one of the best walkout songs in the game.
Agree. Here's my question. Where does Dominic Reyes fit into all of this? Like, where?
Somewhere in a room in California. Dark room. If
you had to get... Because he has to get an opponent in the top 15. He's kind of too big of a deal at this point not to.
Krylov?
That's a good fight. Okay, that's a good one. There we go. No argument from me.
Because Krylov's going to bring it to him, obviously, with the knockout losses for Reyes.
Yeah, Krylov's awesome 50% of the time. And then he's just trashed. Like... trash is too far, but you get he's so inconsistent, it's wild.
Anthony Smith, the man, the myth, and he's got the silver, which is an interesting look. Is that like an international look?
I don't know.
Bright silver. You like the look. For Anthony Smith, again, 3-fight win streak, beat Ryan Spann his last time out, finished him. He has a win over UFC Hall of Famer Alexander Gustafsson, as does Nikita Krylov. But when you do look at it for Smith, I mean, brought it all together late in his career. Obviously, time
did.
with Strikeforce, time with the other organizations. But in the UFC, it's been a hell of a run. Obviously, finish streak, goes up for the title, is unsuccessful against Rakic. But other than that, it's been a lot of fun to watch these Anthony Smith fights in the UFC.
Oh, 100%. He's someone who you can always throw into a 5-round fight at the light heavyweight division. You kind of have to beat him to get a title shot at this point of his career, which is a good position to be in, I guess. But, again, it's hard to see how far he's going to fall or how high he's going to rise in the division. It does feel like he's sort of stuck in that 5 to 7 range permanently at this point.
Malone Hart, I bet y'all Anthony Smith's super dad isn't playing around with his kids and then teaching life lessons like Atticus Finch. Yeah, I mean, Anthony Smith is kind of in like a...
Don't break into his house, you will get
I was
ground
going to
and
say,
pounded.
Anthony Smith is kind of in a category like Kevin Holland. Now, Anthony Smith isn't going out there looking for crime, but Kevin Holland, he's like Batman.
An interesting character, that's for sure.
Well, that much is true. Louis Bond, Phoenix, something along those lines. Fellow Texan, got to go with Smith now. So, a great opportunity for Anthony Smith, and I wanted to pull it up because this is a fight that we talked about in great length at the start of the week,
We did.
and I wanted to get the records right. So, Smith went 2-2 in Strikeforce, and he's 11-6 in the UFC. 3-fight finish streak, 7 bonuses for Smith with the UFC.
That's really impressive, honestly. Are any of those records in the division?
What do you mean? 7 bonuses?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, it isn't? Okay, I thought
No,
maybe it could
no
be.
record. But when you do look at it, I mean, taking on Magomed Ankalaev, a guy who lost his UFC debut, he's on an 8-fight win streak. It's surprising that there's 8 light heavyweights that you have to fight before you get the title shot. But for Ankalaev, 2 of those fights against Ion Kutsalaba, did he, didn't he? And then, yes, he did. Chris hanging out in the super chat, or in the chat, saying, let's go Lionheart.
It's like when Abdul Razak Al Hassan fought Sabah Hamasi. They were like, oh, early
I was there for
stoppage.
one of them.
And then they did the rematch, and they were like, ugh, same thing.
Yeah, listen, Sabah Hamasi had a so-so UFC career over at Bellator. It's just kill and be killed.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, it's fun.
Does he win every fight? No. Are they boring? Also no.
No, Sabah Hamasi, a fun guy to watch in the cage. For Magomed Ankalaev, I would assume he's getting the boos from the Texas crowd.
I could imagine.
Joe Rogan's probably kind of just painted himself in a corner because this is one of those fights where you really like to rally behind a guy who's on his way up, but in his last 2 fights, couple of spots that you can point to, the Volkan Oezdemir fight, he hurts Oezdemir in the first round, and then Oezdemir rallies back in the second, only for Ankalaev to win the third. Listen, I would have loved for this one to be a 5-rounder, though.
Yeah, that would have been interesting. I would have liked that too. But again, I do think the main event winner of next weekend is going to end up fighting the winner of this fight because it does seem like Glover and Yuri are going to fight again. I couldn't imagine not doing a rematch of that fight. That first fight was incredible. So if you do Ankalaev versus Hill or Ankalaev, I guess you can't do Ankalaev versus Santos. I keep on going back to that. So I guess Anthony Smith versus Santos would be really fun. They did that at middleweight.
That one, yeah, I've wanted that one since they moved up to light heavyweight.
Exactly, it'd be a really fun fight. So everything does kind of point to Ankalaev versus Jamal Hill if Hill's able to win next weekend.
Longest win streaks, light heavyweight history. You've got Magomed Ankalaev tied with the Dragon, Lyoto Machida. The Dragon. What a fighter.
Oh, I was a
all-time favorite here with Fight Night Picks. And a big-time opportunity for both these guys. Smith has just about every single advantage, age included. You can't say everything else is equal, and you can't use any Mike Goldberg-isms on this one.
It is all over. No, it's not, Mike. You know it isn't.
All right, so what's going to happen? We're going to get the logo out of the middle. The timer will start when the round starts. There's going to be a lag between you and the rest, so keep that one in mind. We can pause it if there's any stoppages in the action. That is how this works with Fight Night Picks with the Sidekick. Thank you so much for joining us on your Saturday night for 277. Toss a like if you'd like. Hit up the super chat if you'd like. We got a big-time fight in the light heavyweight division, and it is wide open. I mean, we've been talking about the rankings in all of these different divisions. When you look at it, on top of these guys, Teixeira, Blachowicz, Rakic, and then you have Ankalaev at 4 and Smith at 5, and Ankalaev a pretty big favorite. So again, Rakic had that injury against Blachowicz, maybe Ankalaev, Blachowicz, they do that one.
That would be a fun fight. I guess I never threw that one out, so yeah, I'd watch that.
So a good opportunity there, but you look at this one, Matt, I mean, for Anthony Smith, Giant opportunity to get himself right back into title contention. If he wins, I'm sure he's going to call for a title shot.
Without a doubt. I would like to see him fight Jan Blachowicz, though, and I'm really surprised they have never, fought each other. They've both been in the division for a very long time, both been at the top of the division for a while now, so that'd be a really fun fight, too.
Theo Von tweet on the UFC screen. And we have a look at Fight Night Picks again for the votes on this one. 76% Magomed Ankalaev. 76%. So
I'm surprised it's that low, if we're being honest.
A lot of the fans have Magomed Ankalaev. But again, I mean, when you look at it, former title challenger and Smith, you have to really give him props. And I think he's got a great opportunity in this one. Because we have seen some, lapses in the defense, for Magomed Ankalaev.
We have. He's been clipped by some big shots. He always does seem to have that 1 minute and a half where he feels really uncomfortable in the fight. So if Anthony Smith can take advantage of him with a lot of volume, maybe he can get the dub.
I don't think they needed to show the guy in the crowd, but listen, 5-minute timer getting set for round number 1. Ankalaev, Anthony Smith.
I'm excited. This will be a fun one.
I'm excited because we have Jacob Montalvo, Kerry Hatley, and Dan Murgliata as referees in Texas.
Things are getting weird.
Bring the noise.
Alexander Hernandez could win the title in this state.
Phoenix saying Ankalaev looks like Sean O'Malley's chest tattoo came to life.
A little bit.
Ankalaev with the old pitter-patter coming out of southpaw.
He's
Anthony
so
Smith
much bigger, sorry.
in orthodox, and Smith looking to close the distance. Yeah, Smith, one of the later people to weigh in yesterday, 206.5. First time, pops the trunks off, 206. So you like to see that out of Smith, able to make the weight. And for Magomed Ankalaev, the feeling out process is here. And, I mean, you talk about a guy like Anthony Smith, for the size of him, and he's a pretty big guy, standing next to him, he's 6'2", but he's got those long-range weapons and a lot of power at the end of those long shots.
He does, but the wild thing is Ankalaev looks bigger than Anthony Smith. So I'm curious to see how Anthony does deal with the range of Ankalaev, because Ankalaev's just going to try to wait to counter a lot of his shots with bigger power shots of his own. So we'll see who ends up getting their timing first.
Yeah, and you can see, nice head kick attempt there from Smith, and you can see Ankalaev trying to line up or at least fake that lead right hook on the entry. Smith really starting to open up with the kicks. Good leg kick there from Ankalaev, and one for his troubles from Smith. And Smith has shown a susceptibility. His knees are just odd. They swell up big time, and it's one of his detriments, but a nice leg kick from Anthony Smith.
Oh, Ankalaev trying to hit him with that counter right hook every time Anthony Smith throws his own right hand, but he hasn't been able to land so far.
Yeah, you can definitely see the game plan there from Ankalaev, and a good job of adjusting there from Smith, bringing up his left hand to try and block those shots. And that's one of those ones I always think about it. Victoria Leonardo, ever since that Aaron Blanchfield fight, just glues that hand up. But if you look at it for Smith, good in-fight adjustment to try and keep that up there. And when we're at distance, nothing to really worry about.
Ankalaev's doing a good job checking these kicks, though. With the leg kick, even the body kick, he brought the knee up.
Good job here from both these men. Really tight chess match early as we close in on 2 minutes into the round. DLC saying Pena for the win, and Sharif saying, let's go, boys. Just out of range.
Anthony Smith missed a big right hand by about 2 inches.
Good job by both these men trading leg kicks early, looking to slow down their opponent in this 3-round chess match.
And that's my biggest question about Ankalaev if he fought Yuri or anyone at that championship level. Is his volume enough to really keep up with them in a 5-round fight?
Neither guy really doing a whole heck of a lot, not setting any records for significant strikes landed per minute.
Decent body kick by Ankalaev. He's going to need a lot more of those, though.
Halfway through our first round at light heavyweight. And a good opportunity off that kick to try and land a left hand from Ankalaev, but it hits air.
I don't think either guy has landed a clean shot yet.
No, neither man. I mean, they're both really going hot and heavy to try and establish foot position and land their own kicks.
They have not been able to do so.
Malone Hart, dang it. Y'all did say this could end up being a boring fight early. We may or may not see anything until a later round. In the second round.
Smith pressuring, but again, not really throwing a lot of volume, just getting his feet in place.
Good leg kick there from Ankalaev on the inside of that knee is Smith. Smith's now hesitant.
Good body kick by Ankalaev. Might have got a little too high with it, though.
145 remains here in our first round at 205. Your champ, Yuri Prohashka, Glover Teixeira, Jan Blachowicz in the mix, and then Rakic rounding it out the top 3 in the champ. Below them, Ankalaev, and then Smith, and so on. Both guys tentative. There's a lot riding on this fight. Smith was...
Ankalaev tried to throw a head kick, but again, I think a lot of that was blocked. Neither guy being able to lay much clean. Smith might have got a right hand through right there, though.
Yeah, Smith off kilter, landing a right hand. Minute 10 left in round number 1.
And that might have been the cleanest shot of the whole entire round, other than a few leg kicks.
Good little hip move there from Anthony Smith.
Wow.
Hip to it. Smith looking to land a big right hand, and now Ankalaev's starting to do the damage.
It was a good combination, but again, none of them landed all that clean. Neither guy really been able to pull apart from the other so far.
50 seconds left. Smith trying to land that big hand.
Decent right hand over the top, but Ankalaev might have rolled with it.
Yeah, you can see the right hand as a weapon there for Smith. That's what he's looking for in this fight. Hit the air, and
Big
Smith's
swing and a
down
miss.
on the ground.
I don't know if I'd want to grapple with Ankalaev, but maybe.
And for Ankalaev, shades of the Paul Craig fight. He must be worried.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That's got to be in the back of your mind.
If he gets triangled with a second left.
John Doe saying, who's winning? Nobody. 15 seconds remain. If the round ends right now, nobody hurts their knee, I'd say Ankalaev.
10-10.
10 seconds remain. Smith hanging out on his back. Jacob Montalvo wants some action.
But that's the thing. You're Ankalaev. You're minus 600 favorite. Let's say he did give this round away. You have to win the next 2. There is no more slipping up that you can make throughout the next 10 minutes.
I mean, outstruck him by 10 on the UFC site there, so Ankalaev up in terms of total strikes, up in terms of significant strikes landed. No real takedown. Corner ice in the knee of Smith.
Might be bothering him.
And that's one of those ones. It seems in a lot of his fights, a little bit of a misstep. And then when Smith went to throw a flush right hand, there was almost a misstep from Smith on that one too.
As they share the head kick landing from Ankalaev.
Voodoo, he will be in his first fight, says Overturned Turtle Smith. Sharif is saying he's limping.
He was back to his corner.
All right, so we
He's a
get set
man.
for the second round. Let's see what the folks are saying over on the comment section. Limping Smith, the fans aren't winning, says Louis Bond. How did you score that one? Let us know over in the comment section. I got it 10-9 Ankalaev.
I do too, but it was close.
They're showing the foot of Anthony Smith. Oh, whoops. Montalvo doesn't want you to step in before the round starts. Montalvo on top of the action. Eduardo's saying, show the fight, bro. Never, Eduardo. Never. If we did, Fight Night picks would cease to exist. Who's winning the first round? Ankalaev. Now Smith is pressuring. Looking to land that big right hand.
Needs more of that. Needs a lot more volume if he wants to win.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one. Good
right
body
hand to the
shot
bars.
there from Smith. That really got the attention of Ankalaev.
It did. Good kick by Ankalaev, though. Really pressured Ankalaev.
Smith looking for the takedown. Got the arms locked.
He got hit by a left hand that might have stunned him.
Ankalaev hanging out.
Oh, yeah, well, he's defending a takedown. I wouldn't say he's hanging out.
Single leg attempt here from Smith. Looking to wrap the leg. Smith's deep on this one. Ankalaev looking
No, he isn't.
underhook.
Good defense by Ankalaev so far.
Great opportunity here for Anthony Smith. If he can get the takedown, Ankalaev defends.
Doing a good job making Ankalaev work, though.
Smith deep. Taking his time. That's a big action trying to get Ankalaev up. And his base is back.
Nothing.
Magomed Ankalaev with the takedown defense. And now Smith almost pulls guard.
Not sure what happened there.
He took a big right hand for his troubles from Ankalaev. Brian hitting up the super chat.
Thanks,
Appreciate it, Brian. 3:30 left in this second round, and Anthony Smith is just holding on for dear life. You have to think he's trying to skirt out the back and get the back. It's hard
Did
to
these
say.
guys watch the last 2 fights and go, let's not do what they did?
Dana White wants action. You heard that on Dana White's Contender Series. I don't do any tape study. I just want you to show up. We're signing Pfeiffer, and that's it. Have it
Pfeiffer
interesting
was good,
fights.
though.
Yeah, Pfeiffer's got a fight against Alan Amadovsky, a guy who's lost 3 fights in the UFC and hasn't won a fight in over 4 years.
Good fight for Pfeiffer.
Bappa, what are we doing? Smith is in deep, and Pipe Ramirez, what are you doing, Tony?
It's a weird position.
Brian, how do you put more money on the super chat? You can if you want. Magomed Ankalaev. Now, Smith has butterfly hooks here halfway through the second round, and he's just kind of holding on to Ankalaev. And Anthony Smith, an active guard. We know this.
Sometimes, but sometimes not. He is a unique fighter in that way.
He's going to look and try and shuck the momentum from the bigger fighter Ankalaev here with those butterfly hooks, but he's up against the cage.
Just...
Ankalaev stacking up. Anthony Smith. Ooh, he's
big
eating.
shots.
That's going to be all she
One
wrote.
of those might hurt.
Oh, boy. Ankalaev in tight. Montalvo getting a good look.
This is big ground and pound from Ankalaev. He laid some big shots from that stack guard.
Anthony Smith.
Still
My
in it, though.
goodness. Jacob Montalvo watching intently. Can't hit him in the back of the head. Montalvo wants to step in. If you want to do it, Montalvo steps in. That's the end of that fight. Magomed Ankalaev, TKO finish in the second round. Minus 600 favorite. 76% of the Fight Night Picks fans had him to win. Are you impressed? Oh, stop.
Not really. Are you?
It's tough.
Then
It's tough.
Yeah. Good stoppage, though. Again, Anthony Smith is a really tough guy. I know he has a lot of TKO losses at this point, but beating Anthony Smith means that you do belong, so that's good.
Giant win there for Magomed Ankalaev. And Ramirez, pull guard on the D'Agostini guy.
Probably not a good idea unless your name's like Charles Oliveira.
Yeah, that wasn't the best one. I mean, you look at the numbers, and I mean, the total strike numbers are going to favor Magomed Ankalaev in a big way in that fight. But Smith came out hot and heavy to start the second, and then he was the one that decided to grapple. There's Malone Hart later in the second round. But, yeah, I mean, for Smith, that was kind of his downfall, playing around on the ground. He got burned.
Yeah, not a good idea. He ate some really big shots there.
So Anthony Smith dropping that fight. And for Ankalaev, a guy who's ranked 4th in this division, Rakic, Blachowicz, Teixeira, and the champ only ahead of him. So you think it's got to be only up from here.
It's either Jan Blachowicz or Jamal Hill, I think.
Brian hitting up the super chat. Brian, much appreciated. Thank you very much. Yeah, and the foot is hurt of Smith.
Broken leg.
The foot is hurt. But for Anthony Smith, I mean, this is a guy... That speaking engagement he's got with UFC is pretty darn good. I know Tyron Woodley, they kind of cast him away from his role, but Anthony Smith, you'd have to think he's here to stay.
Well, yeah, he's ranked, what, like 6th in the division? I don't think he's going to leave.
Debbie saying ankle, that's why. T-Mac 157 is my worst card by far. But, yeah, I mean, a good opportunity there for Ankalaev to get the win. And, I mean, Matt, the next fight up is our favorite fight on the card.
Yeah, I love this
At least it is mine. So, you've got Alessandro Pantoja taking on Alex Perez, top-ranked flyweights in a very, very dynamic division. I mean, listen, for Pantoja, the win list, it looks very, very good. And, I mean, you pick out the one that you want, but this guy's an absolute gamer. For Alex Perez, I mean, will it be y'all must have forgot? That's my biggest point on tonight.
Maybe. I just want to see a good fight here, honestly. Again, this division is wide open right now. I know Joe Rogan earlier said that the real title is on the line tonight. It most certainly is not. But I do agree with him in one capacity. Like, Figueiredo, I don't know how many more fights to flyweight he is going to have. He might not even have another fight at this weight class. He might just be holding on to the title. But either one of these guys are of the championship caliber, and I think they could slide into a fight against a Brandon Moreno, a Kai Kara France, an Askar Askarov. Like, all these guys are on a very similar level right now, so no matter who wins this fight, it's going to result in further great fights down the road.
Ryan saying Pantoja is going to get the win.
I agree.
I'll be eager to see who gets it. A guy that looks a little bit like Alexander Yakovlev is the translator, but this guy has a beard. Pantoja, Perez, and I mean, again, for Perez's last time out was for the title almost 2 years ago. And you look at it, I mean, listen, originally supposed to be Askar Askarov UFC on ABC3 for Perez. That falls out. UFC 271, he's supposed to take on Matt Schnell, but Perez missed weight at 128.
Yeah.
Successfully makes a weight here this week. Didn't look too bad. Looked big, too. Like, you like to see that out of him.
Oh, 100%. Again, I really do think the winner of this fight could slide into that title shot easily. Like, the winner of this is as good as the winner of Brandon Moreno versus Kai Kara France, in all honesty.
Yeah, and I mean, for Perez, 6-2 in the UFC. He's got 4 finish wins, 2 performance bonuses, 1 due to leg kicks against UCA Formiga, 1 against Jordan Espinoza, who didn't get it done against Tim Elliott, and hashtag... It was bad for him. And if you look at it for Pantoja, he's got performance bonuses over Brandon Royval and Matt Schnell. He's got a fight of the night against Devison Figueiredo in a losing effort. But listen, I think this is going to be a great one. Brian saying just won triple parlay. Magomed was the last fighter that was on it. That'd be right there.
Nice. Good for you.
And you have to think Ankalaev's calling for a title shot here.
Oh, yeah. Because if you're him, you're going to think, hey, I just beat the 5th best guy in the world. Like, how much more do I have to do for you? But he did leave a lot to be desired after that performance, I'm not going to lie.
I mean, I thought he fought a really good game plan. Matt Schnell getting his due in the camera. Matt Schnell beat Sumiderji in a banger. Adrian Yanez. Let me bang, bro.
Oh, yeah. One of the hottest prospects around.
Mike Tyson has a cane, and he's sitting with Terrence Crawford. And if the guy touches him more behind him, he'll turn around and slug him.
I would... Oh, that'd be so weird. Just having people touch you all the time, being like, are you Iron Mike?
My question is, Mike Tyson, why do you have a staff?
If anyone's a wizard in that building, it's Mike Tyson.
It's meant for swinging. Mike Tyson.
It's like Young Gunna had supposedly had a magical staff in Atlanta. The FBI confiscated it.
Alejandro Perez, I mean, Alessandro Pantoja versus Alex Perez. You look at this matchup, Matt, and I mean, you consider these guys. For Pantoja, came in on the Ultimate Fighter season 24. For Perez, came in off Dana White's Contender Series, and there are a few people that were out there in the chat saying, well, no, the best Dana White's Contender Series alum is Jamal Hill. Maybe, guys, but I mean, when I look at it, a guy that's got 4 finish wins out of 6 fights, 2 performance bonuses, and he's fought for the title. There's no Dana White's Contender Series fighters that have fought for the title. And again, I harped on it in the tweet off of the episode, the first episode in this first week after our video. Dana saying, I'm not watching any tape. I'm just here for the exciting fighters. That's who I'm signing. I look at that, and then I look at the fighters that we had at the start of this card, like Ihor Potieria wins on Dana White's Contender Series, comes into the UFC, and he didn't offer much resistance for a lower tier light heavyweight.
No, he didn't.
In Nikolai Negumereanu. So, again, Contender Series, you got to take it with not a grain, but a lump of salt. Like a salt lick for a deer. And when it comes to Alex Perez, he's really proven a lot of those doubters wrong, myself included.
That's the thing. Being most successful and being most popular are two different things. Like, Sean O'Malley's probably the most popular. Jamal Hill has had a lot of success coming off that show. But Perez, like you said, is the only person who's fought for a title coming off the show. And that means much more than headlining a Fight Night main event or anything like that. So, let's see if he still is at that championship quality. Because this division is absolutely stacked right now. So, both guys really not only need a win, but have to have an impressive win. Maybe even a finish if they do on title shot.
Yeah, and I mean, if we look ahead of these guys in the rankings, I mean, Pantoja's fighting Perez. Askarov's out there off a loss that doesn't have a fight. That was his first pro loss. Kai Kara-France against Brandon Moreno. And then, of course, the champ, Devison Figueiredo. Now, does he stick around at 125? Does he want to fight at 135? Does Henry Cejudo fight him even though they train? It's going to be an interesting move for Devison Figueiredo. A guy out of Team Figueiredo, but training in the States now, and Team Figueiredo's got a fighter who's taking part in a fight next weekend. And Priscilla Cachoeira, she's taking on Ariane Lipski.
One of the GOATs.
Just a great fight at 125 pounds. Priscilla Cachoeira, she was a knockout artist, and then she fought Valentina Shevchenko.
I would love to see Piotr Yan fight Devison Figueiredo. That's the matchup I want at 135.
But you get Sean O'Malley. Are you excited for that fight?
I am excited for that fight. Again,
Same.
It is a massive step up for Sean O'Malley, but let's be honest, like, the hype is real around this guy. He's not just some hype beast. Like, the guy can fight his ass off. He's an incredible striker. He is a good grappler. I know he doesn't always show that part of his game, but he hasn't really given me a reason to not believe that. But Piotr Yan is one of the best strikers in the division, if not in all of the UFC. We all know how good his boxing is, how good his combinations are, how good he is defensively, especially with his hands on the feet. So I think it's going to be an incredible fight, even though it is a big step up for Sean O'Malley.
How good he is with his hands on the feet?
Because that's the thing. He can defend punches very well with his hands. He holds a very high guard. He does a good job at shelling up, but he also has an active defense. So I'm excited for the fight. If Sean O'Malley wins that, then the sky truly is the limit.
Oh, 100%. And we're getting a little bit of a preview. UFC 278 from Salt Lake City. It's odd one.
This is my problem with Paulo Costa versus Luke Rockhold. Luke Rockhold has a lot of highlights where he could have sponsors on his shorts. I don't like that in fighters in the year 2022. I'm sorry. Your highlights should probably come from the Reebok era. It's been around since 189.
But Luke Rockhold, former champ, former Strikeforce great. When you look at it for Rockhold, an opportunity to insert himself right back up. When you look at that fight, Matt, I mean, you consider Paulo Costa, and that one says at middleweight. Do you think we're going to play weigh-in games? Because Luke Rockhold against Jan Blachowicz was at 205.
I'm surprised the fight isn't at 205, to be honest, because Costa did have that weird, hey,
He played the
Got
Nick
it.
Diaz game.
He did. It was weird. But I'm really excited for that fight. That'll be a fun one. Jose Aldo Marab's going to be a fun fight, too.
Tybura Romanov is not really a pay-per-view fight, but we're here.
Neither is
Tyson
Harry
Pedro,
Hunsucker.
Harry Hunsucker's a pay-per-view fight? Are you kidding me?
No, it isn't.
Oh my goodness gracious.
I mean, we could do other stuff that night. Just throwing that out there.
Why is there a zombie on my television? State of Survival, a million. What is going on?
I'm very
First they hit me with Tyson Pedro, Harry Hunsucker, and now there's this? Matt, Perez Pantoja, what can you tell me?
I've said so much about this fight, I don't have much more to say. It's going to be a fun one again. Perez, when he fought Joey B, got knocked out, didn't look great in that performance. I could see Pantoja fighting a very similar fight. He is a very heavy-handed fighter, so if he could land some good shots on the feet, maybe he can put down Perez, but it's going to be a really fun fight, that's all I know. Luke Rockhold versus Paulo Costa is going to be an absolute bludgeoning, though. I'm sorry. I'm never this one-sided with a pick. Luke Rockhold walks backwards with his chin straight up, and he's fighting a guy who throws 100 punches around, and all of them have power behind them. How does
Tyson
Luke Rockhold
Pedro
win?
beat Ike Villanueva, and now he's going to fight Harry Hunsucker. And Hunsucker's moving down to 205.
Craig, Luke Rockhold beat Chris Weidman for the title. Chris Weidman hasn't been a champion for 10 years.
Oh my gosh. Oh.
Find a guy. And this is what the Utah fans deserve. They had Rudy Gobert, they had Donovan Mitchell, they had a winning playoff team. But you know what they have now? Cap space and future lottery picks.
Great UFC fights. Jay Trinidad, I'm 6-1 so far. Jay Trinidad,
Nice.
There's been 9 fights. How are you 6-1? Semmelsberger did his best.
did.
Malone Hart. Remember when zombies were cool? I wasn't really. The only one I like was
Zombieland was good.
Zombieland 1.
Dawn of the Dead.
Stop taking the words out of my mouth. Dawn of the Dead.
Sorry.
The Sarah Paulson movie.
Night of the Living Dead's good. What else is good zombie content?
Sarah Pauly. I don't know. Brandon Royval getting finished by Alessandro Pantoja. Brandon Royval, the biggest killer be killed fighter in this flyweight
He's a
division.
flyweight true doper, for being completely honest. He grapples a lot more, but yeah, he gets into the wild fights. UFC 278 card. Yeah, it's a card.
Yeah, I mean, they stacked UFC 280, and then there's UFC 279, and UFC 278, and UFC 277.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Luke Rockhold. Alex
Like,
Chris-
I'm sorry. What is Luke Rockhold doing? Like, it gets to a point, like,
Banging
Robbie Lawler,
bods.
but Robbie Lawler just fought Brian Barberena. That's a good fight, you know?
Yeah.
Brian Barberena, he's a fun fighter.
I like the fight.
It was an incredible fight, but like to watch it, it was super fun. It was back and forth. Luke Rockhold has no chance against Paolo. Let me just get this clear right now. Paolo has
I'm there for it, though.
Oh, so am I. But I just have like Michael Bisping at 40 years old knocked Luke Rockhold unconscious. Have you seen what Paulo Costa looks like in his day-to-day life? He hits so much harder. So I just think he has a really, really hard time. Like, if they could put him up against anybody, I thought maybe a Marvin Vettori, you know, a guy who, he's a great fighter, he's extremely skilled, but he's not a big power puncher. He's not a knockout artist on the feet. Paulo throws hammers. This is so much like Johnny Hendricks versus Paulo Costa. It's not even funny. Like,
set the scene.
Oh.
UFC 217. Michael Bisping taking on George St. Pierre. You have Rose Namajunas, Joanna Jędrzejczyk. You
An
have
incredible card.
a fight that'll fall below the radar, but Ricardo Ramos, Eamon Zahabi was on the prelims of that card. It's one of my favorite cards. I remember it like it was yesterday. I rewatch it all the time. Paulo Costa versus Johnny Hendricks made no sense to be on that card, and I don't know who greenlit it, and I can't believe New York held
do you
off
remember
on...
how much bigger Paulo looked than Johnny? He was 1.5 feet taller.
Like, New York didn't want MMA fights for the longest time, and then they went, okay, we're going to let this big guy bring in a baseball bat and bludgeon a guy over the head who owns a steakhouse.
It was so stupid.
Didn't make any sense.
Oh my goodness. It was funny though. Just some of the most one-sided fights you'll ever see.
Pedro versus Hunsucker, early spoiler prediction.
better
Tyson
win.
Pedro by submission.
Yeah. Pedro's skilled. He's just been inconsistent as of late.
Well, it's the injury woes and the layoffs
Exactly.
before he fought Ike Villanueva, Hurricane Ike.
A harder guy.
It was a good time, not a long time for
yeah.
Hurricane Ike. Weird career arc for Ike.
It was.
Alex Perez in the cage, first action since November of 2020 for Alex Perez.
Wow. I'm excited to see his return.
So am I. I like an Alex Perez fight.
It's just been a while. That's
and
all.
I like an Alessandro Pantoja
I
fight.
love
So
one.
this is one of those ones, like, you get fired up like Rafael Alves gets fired up for his own fights. He's that type of guy. He's
Did
like,
his own body shots affect his ability to eat body shots?
maybe, but I'll tell you what Rafael Alves needs for his next fight. He's got to get in contact, because yes, they're in the same weight class at this point in time, but they're never going to fight each other. Let's face it, they probably will. Get Clay Guida and his team in your corner with the face slaps and everything.
Oh, yeah.
I need that. So, listen, that's what I need to see. Couple of buddies having fun. And I think for a guy like Alves, make him fight, not like Leonard, make him fight Alexander Hernandez next, a teammate of Drew Dober.
Guram.
No, he lost. He's not fighting Guram. Give
Guram's coming off a loss.
Guram's coming off a loss, but give Guram one off a tee. Give him a Ghost Pepper Gonzalez fight like Terrence McKinney has next.
That would be just terrible to watch.
Let him run the bases. Let him Selly hard. Selly hard, bud. Selly hard. But
I
Alex
still
could
can't
make
get
this weird. Which Alex, Debbie? Alexandre Pantoja or Alex Perez? We shall soon find out. Alexandre Pantoja in the cage. Couldn't be more excited for this one. Mike Watkins, will Amanda submit Juliana? It would surprise me. I think she's going to throw hands.
It would not surprise me at all, if I'm being honest. I actually do expect Amanda Nunes to try to grapple with Juliana in this fight. I thought her grappling woes came from cardio issues, not just her inability to grapple.
Paumpa Marcos D'Amata in the corner of Alex Perez. Now he's getting talked about, but a great corner to have. You used to always see Mike Brown, regardless who it was, in a lot of corners for American Top Team. Alex Perez. Team Oyama in the background. Obviously, Louis Smolka from that team, but of course, the champion, Carla Esparza. One of the worst title fights of all time against Rose Namajunas. One of the worst.
Do you think Colin Oyama yells like, "The champ is here!" every time he sees Carlos Esparza?
Debbie Elder. Pantoja, shirt off, straight to the ring. Rocking it like potential future Hall of Famer up on the ballot this year. My guy from the 2013 Red Sox, Mike Napoli. Matt, look at that farmer's tan. It's bad. That V, it's bad.
Pantoja seems like the type of guy who, like, if you looked at him the wrong way at a bar, his shirt immediately comes off and he's trying to fight you.
No, he's kind of like Randy from Trailer Park Boys. The pants are off and he's ready to jam.
And with the nickname The Cannibal, it's aggressive.
Alessandro Pantoja probably only listens to Megadeth.
Oh, yeah.
Alex Perez.
The type of guy you wouldn't want to call a foul on in a pickup game.
Alex Perez probably only listens to Ray LaMontagne. Likes to get in his feels.
How many nights in a car while raining has Alexander Perez cried to, like, anything?
In San Diego?
Yeah.
Oh,
often.
Off the charts. Too many to count. Malone Hart saying USA. Oh my goodness, the USA chants.
They love to do.
There were USA chants for Don'Tale Mays against Egyptian wrestling king Hamdi Abdulwahab.
It's gonna be a great fight.
Alessandro Pantoja in the red corner, Alex Perez in the blue corner. I am beyond amped for this fight, Matt, at flyweight.
I just think Pantoja has a lot more power on the feet, and I do think that'll be the big X factor in this matchup.
Dylan saying, leaning Perez, anyone? Listen, I could see it for sure. I mean, it just depends on the layoff. Referee Kerry Hatley loves the stand-ups.
He does.
He loves the stand-ups.
Which could favor our pick in Pantoja if Perez does try to wrestle.
All right, set for round number 1. 3 5-minute rounds in this action between Pantoja, whose trunks are pulled up, and Alex Perez, whose trunks are not. And oh my! They're here to bang, boys!
These boys are throwing hands early. Just
wild man!
Pantoja might have him hurt.
Wild flurries. Alex Perez turning into a wrestler pretty quick.
He went for that patented leg kick, though.
We're only 15 seconds into this matchup.
Oh my
Good
goodness.
knees from both men.
I think both guys have been stunned already.
Pantoja with the takedown.
He's
He
got
gets
the back already.
Oh my!
He's got both
the
hooks
hooks.
standing. He's got a body triangle in. Pantoja's got the back up against the cage.
This is the wildest 30 seconds. Martin
Oh my
300 hanging out in the
God.
chat, and Perez is in danger quick.
He certainly is.
And
This is tiring, too, for him.
Alejandro Pantoja looks cool as a cucumber in a bowl of hot sauce.
He's got that Gegard Mousasi demeanor.
That can be good, that can be bad. Johnny
Okay.
Eblin knows. Pantoja just trying to Have some fun. Pull him away from the cage. The old fist up.
I like it.
Pantoja.
Great position for Pantoja.
Oh, you are tiring out your opponent at this point.
His legs could be getting tired, but I would still rather that than just be carrying somebody's weight.
He is bopping that body clock, and you got a tight crank on here from Pantoja. Pantoja going for the neck.
Really wants that choke.
Oh, he might be able to get it from here. I think he's going to get it.
I don't know if he will.
He's off on the side. Perez does well to defend.
Perez might be able to buck him off.
Brian saying, what a start. Oh, Pantoja's just pulling on that neck. He
tapped him. Wow.
Oh, my.
What a statement for Pantoja.
Give this man his title shot. First round finish.
Submission. Oh, my God.
That's a performance of the night bonus tonight.
That was so fast.
Alessandro Pantoja. I mean, if Molly McCann can run out of the cage and grab a belt, what can this man do?
Oh, probably fight for the real title and get his hands on one of those instead.
And Alex Perez looked great with the hands.
He did early on, but Pantoja was relentless with some of his combos. And the second he got the back, he just kept on fighting for that choke. That was impressive.
We didn't get to learn much about Alex Perez after the layoff. That's what I'm sad about.
Learn that Pantoja's a bad MF'er, though.
Oh, my.
Wow.
David's saying they should remove flyweight. David.
How dare you.
Get out of here, man. Get out of here.
That was incredible.
Flyweight is definitely the weakest division. Have you watched a middleweight fight? David, get with it, pal. Alessandro Pantoja pouring it on. These two guys are going absolutely buck wild in the striking. And it's Alessandro Pantoja doing the dirty, taking the back on the wrestler, popping back up and getting it done.
Really impressive stuff. That's as good of a submission as he can get. But again, for Perez, it's going to be interesting to see who he fights next. Again, long layoff, that's 2 in a row.
Max Schnell.
Still top guy. Yeah, that'd be a fun fight. I wouldn't mind that at all. Just like that, it is all over.
Oh, man, what a performance. Flyweight,
crank.
let's go.
Really impressive stuff. Call out Brandon Moreno next. Get the trilogy.
Don't call out, like, Henry
Rafael
Cejudo.
Nadal. Oh.
Joseph Benavidez, I want you. Joe B.
That'd be awful.
Burnt quick. Flew too high.
Yeah, I'm alone.
Flyweight is so still. What about guys like, I don't know.
You're getting so defensive.
David
so
Dvorak.
fast.
Tagir Ulanbekov. Bruno Santos. Or Bruno Souza. I don't know. But a giant win there for Andre Pantoja. I mean, a huge one for him there. We'll have a look at the total numbers, and then we'll move it along to our next fight. But you consider that one a giant win for him, and it's got to be the winner of the interim matchup, or you just hang around, you wait for your title shot, weigh in as an alternate when the winner fights Figueiredo, if they fight Figueiredo.
Be a damn shame, though, if we just don't get to see him fight for a whole year because he's just trying to wait for a title shot. Because, like,
work for Carla Esparza.
Pretty exciting. Yeah, but she was already a champion, so you can afford to wait a little bit more in your career. Pantoja, he wants to get that first title shot. He's never even had the opportunity.
Pantoja's amped.
As he should be.
He gets to have a fun night in Dallas. The DFW. Great win for Alessandro Pantoja. And as an inside baseball, I'm digging the little fan.
You brought it up 4 times
very
already.
Lovely.
It is
it's refreshing.
Nice. It doesn't feel like we're in a pressure cooker like it has the past month and a half, so that's good.
Just a great shot for Alessandro Pantoja in a division that is definitely in flux. And I mean, when you consider this flyweight division, you got guys like Canada's Malcolm Gordon trying to make moves. You've got a fun fighter like Dinius Bondar that he took on his last time out. But flyweight, it was always dominated by Demetrius Johnson. Obviously, Ian McCall made it fun for a little bit, but he's been gone for a hot minute. You consider guys like former title challengers, Wilson Hayes, couldn't get it done, but so exciting with the return of Mateus Nicolau, with Manel Kopp.
Kopp versus Perez would be fun.
Oh, 100%. Mohamed Makayev with his giant win here last weekend against Charles Johnson. Rogerio Bontorin making it fun, and so on and so forth. I mean, Alon Nascimento with his big win over Jake Hadley his last time out. I'd love to see Jared Brooks back in, but we couldn't talk about that one for, forever. Like, we gotta make a video series on Jared Brooks, the monkey god.
I don't know if we have to make a series on it.
But our next guy and our next fight, Matt, Derek Lewis, taking on a fun fighter in Sergey Pavlovich. And you look at it for Derek Lewis, he's in the dressing room of the opponent, like the Dallas Stars opponent for Sergey Pavlovich. He's in a broom closet. And when you consider this, Matt, this fight for both these guys...
It's like, do you remember that thing that went viral at the All-Star game where, like, Steph Curry had a full locker and Domantas Sabonis had, like, a cubby you would get in elementary school? That's what that reminded me of. That's sad stuff.
Sacramento Kings zone. But when you look at it, Matt, in this fight... and Moss 22 saying Lewis or Sergey, we're split on the pick. But it should be a really fun fight at 265 because this, again, is another division. Like, Hamdi Abdelwahab could be taking on somebody in the top 25, you'd think.
I gotta be honest, if he fought Augusto Sakai tomorrow, I think he'd have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, Shamil Abdurkimov 13th. You've got Sakai 14th, who's fighting next weekend. You've got Blagoy Ivanov at 15, Romanov at 12, who's got a fight against Marcin Tybura on that pay-per-view card. But again, when I do focus on this matchup, Matt, for Derek Lewis, the loss to Cyril Gahn, the loss to Taito Ivasa, you throw those two guys in, you see what happens. You look at the wins that Lewis has had throughout his career. My most memorable Derek Lewis win?
Travis Brown?
Yeah, probably Travis Brown because we were there. Or the I don't know. Pick any one of them. Pick any one of them.
A lot of fun.
Curtis Blades.
I love watching Derek Lewis fights. They're never boring.
David is going with Lewis. Ryan is going with Lewis. Voodoo Pavlovich is going night-night. So apparently I'm on my own. Totally Blitz says Derek Lewis hate using his wrestling. He doesn't mind it defensively, just get back up attitude.
He's not bad with it offensively, though, and if he's ever going to show it, I think tonight against Pavlov would be a good idea.
Pavlov.
Cutting
her down. Derek Lewis, Sergey Pavlovich, and when you look at this in terms of fights that are already booked, we kind of touched on it, but I mean, Pavlovich obviously taking a jump up in the rankings at this point. You had Curtis Blades beating Tom Aspinall, injury that you hate to see the last time out. Stipe in the rumored bout with John Jones. Stipe's lifting weights at the Fire Hall.
That fight's been rumored for 3 years now.
John Jones, where you at, bud? Aspinall with the injury. Obviously, for Volkov, he's not going to fight his teammate in Pavlovich.
But here's the problem. The difference between number 8 and number 9 is, like, that fight wasn't even close.
And then 2 fight losing streaks for Rosenstrike and Dawkins. You have to think they're going to take some time off,
and
too.
Nobody thinks Tabora is really a top 10 guy. So you know what I mean? Like, there is a big difference between whoever's fighting above Volkov and below Volkov. So he does seem to be sort of the gatekeeper right now in the division. I'm excited for this matchup, though. Again, if Pavlovich is able to win, this is by far the biggest win of his career.
Drew Jen, great job, boys. Keep it coming. Appreciate you, Drew, with the super chat. Inside Baseball. We went to the mall today.
We did.
First thing, I was going to take a picture, but there was like a guy laying out on one of those chairs, so I didn't do it. But there's a photography booth, an instant photo booth at the Regent Mall in Fredericton. It's an NHL photography booth. You take your picture.
How much money do you think that thing makes?
None.
Negative, like, $17
Like, it's Canada, but Bappa. What are we doing here? But I picked up a popcorn, so I got that. I said, give me the biggest bag you got. And the guy said, what? I said, no, but the giant bag, the one that I've had on the show before. There's 5 large popcorns in it. And the guy went, sir, I think that's only from Skip the Dishes. You want a large? And I said, okay, well, I'll get 2 larges. But the popcorn, we'll hit it up. It's a bad party prop because it's stuck in your throat. And then you're just coughing throughout the show. So I only ate 1. But, Matt, big-time heavyweight matchup. Anything can happen in this division. We know this.
Oh, 100%. 1 clean shot and the fight's over. I just think Derek Lewis is the heavier hands, and I do think his boxing's a little bit better.
Martiner, or Martin 300. I start every show off by saying, Craig Allen FNP. With me to my left, to your right, Matt Allen. Respective socials, at Matt Allen FNP. Hopefully that solves it for you.
Let's say you saw Craig and myself in a field, and there was no one else but the 2 of us, and you yelled, Craig! I wouldn't look towards you. He would.
Ramirez, you switched your handle to I'm from South America. Talk about soccer, please. Well, A, I'm glad you said soccer. B, I don't like the fact that Montreal, the Montreal Impact, changed their name to Club de Foot Montreal because Club de Foot, for an English speaker, probably just throws them into a tizzy. So I'd love to see a game from the Montreal Club de Foot. Over there next to Olympic Stadium. I've never been. Maybe when I'm there next, I'll try and get tickets. But between that and the Alouettes, I think they're a fairly hot ticket, and I'd love to see an MLS soccer game.
I've never been big into soccer, I gotta be honest. You watch a lot more than me.
Malone Hart saying pork rinds better than popcorn for fight snack. Malone Hart, in the last 3 years I've gotten into pork rinds. They're not popular in Canada, though.
They are not.
They're not I like them, but they're not popular. It's an American thing.
Aight.
I like the ones that they put the salt and the vinegar on them. they pack a punch. Like Derek Lewis taking on Sergey Pavlovich. Derek Lewis.
That was the most Mike Goldberg transition I've ever heard in my life.
Derek Lewis, the biggest knockout artist in UFC history. He was 10-0 before he fought Cyril Gane in Texas. Lost that fight. Lost to Tuivasa. Both those in Houston. In Dallas, though, Lewis is 1-0 already, taking on Sergey Pavlovich. And the question there is, what is next fight? Sergey Pavlovich.
It'd be wild if he fought for a title, I'm not gonna lie. If Sergey Pavlovich fought Stipe Miocic, I think Stipe would brutalize him.
Malone Hart, now I feel bad for Canadians. Yeah, but we have ketchup chips and all-dressed chips, which are now in the States, and they put that little label on there at Walmart. This is Canada's flavor. They like to push that one on.
And they're good. I wasn't a fan growing up, but I've completely done a 180 on ketchup chips.
Oh, man, ketchup chips are the best. And all-dressed have always been good. I like an old-fashioned barbecue. A lot of that mesquite in there. A lot of the mesquite.
Wow.
I was literally in Dallas like 6 hours ago. Didn't know UFC 277 was in Dallas. Drove back to Austin. Wish I could have gone. Wish it was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. That's unfortunate.
20-inch blades.
Is Austin as weird as they say that it is? You have Joe Rogan now.
That's true.
And he's not a fan of that.
No.
Nope.
It's pretty cool here, I'm not gonna lie. As someone who spent, I don't know, 99.99% of my life in Canada, like, I've been outside of it, but still, I live here.
I'm a winter guy.
I don't love winters, but here's the thing. Canada's still really, really good. It's great. The summers kind of suck right now, though. I'm not going to lie. It's been 30 degrees for about 3 straight weeks.
Cussing there from Leone. Have y'all talked on Mays already, or did I miss it? Yeah, he didn't look very good, and Hamdi Abdul-Wahab looked amazing. So, Hamdi, big jump up. We'll have to see how that left eye plays out. Cool Banana Boy. It's weird. And one. Nah, it's growing like crazy, but it's cool. Yeah, it's one of those ones. John hanging out in the chat.
Can we address Ritz crackers, peanut butter, and ketchup?
Oh, ketchup.
Ritz crackers and peanut butter, a goat
and
snack.
cheese.
Yeah, throw that on there.
Ketchup.
Have some fruit, maybe. That's a nice addition to it. Not ketchup.
Like fries in a Frosty at Wendy's. That's always good, right? Or a McFlurry.
You ever put... This is going to sound so disgusting. I've done it one time. You ever put mustard on watermelon?
Nope.
Way better than you think it is.
I'm a big guy. I like to eat cottage cheese 2% right out of the bowl. So if we're going on weird stuff to eat. And
the FBI immediately breaks down the door because you said that.
Cottage
what
cheese.
A serial killer move.
I like cottage cheese. It's a good breakfast food. Casein protein? That long-lasting stuff.
When you have to defend it like this, you know it's probably not a great breakfast
it's good
food.
stuff. Craig's saying it works. So that is the way.
Try.
How much tax does Canada pay per citizen to afford free healthcare? Genuine question. Oh, more than you would ever know. Half the paycheck. See you later. Not getting that back. Derek Lewis getting ready to enter the octagon. He is in the red corner. Is there such a thing as having too many beers on this channel, even if you're Canadian?
Oh, yeah, there's a limit.
Oh, there's definitely a limit. Jalapeno pickled eggs, the best. Land of Blankenship.
Pretty good.
If you want good pickled eggs, and I'm going to offer the fans something, a little nugget of info. If you've ever been to New Brunswick, there's the Fundy National Park. The town next to it is Alma. There's a brewery there. It's called the Holy Whale Brewery. Give me a percentage on Black Beast winning tonight.
51.
0.
How dare you?
But the question that's there, if you go to Alma, Holy Whale Brewing, they're pushing into Hillsborough, they're pushing into Riverview. But if you go there, their thing is, well, obviously, microbrewery, but also pickled eggs. They have so many different kinds of pickled eggs. That's their jam. I'm a pickled egg guy, so if you do get a chance to go to Fundy, it's a huge tourist attraction, and it's not a tourist trap either.
Oh, no.
It's a great place to go. There's not a lot of that jazz there. You can go to Hopewell Rocks as well.
Some high-quality food there,
You can see the tidal boar. It's a lot of fun, but...
Eat some lobsters.
Yeah, I'm a big-time fan of the pickled egg. Big pickled egg guy.
There's a restaurant in the city we live in called The Pickled Chair. It's also very good. They make a lot of pickled stuff there.
Let's have a look. I mean, at the fan vote here, again, Derek Lewis going with a lot of the fans going with Derek Lewis in this one. 57% now. It was originally 56%, so that has ticked up a little bit in the favor of Lewis. As you know, with Fight Night Picks and the Sidekick, we're going to hit the timer. We have the opportunity to pause it if there's any illegal shots, so on and so forth. But we're getting set for our third fight on the main card. They've been zipping through. They've been going quick.
Really have
first round finish for Alessandro Pantoja looked amazing against Alex Perez. So good opportunity for both of these guys here. Pavlovich in his biggest fight in the UFC.
By far.
Apart from the Overeem fight. And for Derek Lewis, big opportunity to turn away another challenger. Long shorts for Derek Lewis.
I would hate to see him in, like, bike shorts.
And I'm interested because no crew Bob Perez in the corner of Derek Lewis. He has Lauren Murphy's husband and a couple others, but no Bob Perez. He's been a mainstay, Main Street Boxing and Muay Thai in the corner of Lewis.
I think this fight's going to be wild for the 3 minutes that it lasts. Also, shout out Landon. Yeah, jalapeno jelly with cream cheese is good. Throw a wheel of brie in the oven and then throw jalapeno
put that in the
on
middle, dirtied up with a little bit of phyllo on the outside.
Get wacky.
Oh, now we're spicing it up.
I'm having a real nice evening.
Keep hitting up those snack ideas.
Let us know about your snack. I love to cook. I do it for a job.
All right. Tan Dan is our referee. He's down to clown. Remember Tan Dan and Kubrat Pulev, Frank Mir.
That was awful to watch.
All right.
Kubrat
They're going to swing.
lost to Chisora.
They're going to hit. Now, Lewis anticipated a lot of long looping shots here for Pavlovich. He wanted to counter with those straight shots up the middle. Leg kick attempt here from Lewis as Pavlovich closes this.
And Lewis does get a little wild early in fights. Like, he'll throw a wheel kick. He'll throw, like, a jumping switch kick. He does like to throw it a lot of different looks, especially in the early goings of a fight.
Yeah, I love the jumping switch kick there from Lewis. Level change from Derek Lewis.
Little peekaboo for you.
A little bit of fun here. Now, Lewis behind that black line in a bigger octagon. One of two things. He knocks you out, or he just tries to roll with the shots.
I mean, to be fair, I don't think there's much of a difference depending on the octagon with him. That's just sort of his style.
Both guys are... Oh, big right hand!
Oh, man.
Pavlovich is landing. Pavlovich, oh boy. Derek Lewis backing up.
Oh, Lewis.
Pavlovich is hitting him hard.
Derek Lewis is out.
That's it. End the fight, Tandan.
Oh, Derek Lewis was fine.
Derek Lewis looking to try and argue that one.
That might have been early.
57%.
That was kind of early. He was down, but I thought it was a tad bit.
He ate a lot of shots and a big
also,
cut there from Pavlovich.
I know he ate a lot of shots. I'm just saying it was a little early. That's all.
Lewis is riled up. Pavlovich getting Texas into it. Bud, this is the wrong place
There's
in the
about
States.
11 people cheering for him right now and 16,000 people booing.
The fans are not happy. Tandan is a referee.
Like, he was hurt, don't get me wrong, but I do think that was an early stoppage. Yeah, that was the right hook that hurt him. Wild stoppage, though. Good win for Pavlovich. He needed that. Still kind of early, but... Tandan. Who won? Sergey Pavlovich won by knockout like a minute and 10 seconds. It was a bit of an early stoppage, though.
Oh, come on.
That's all we have here.
Marcus Mustard, swanging and banging.
That's exactly what it was.
And Manny's saying Texas never good for old Derek Lewis. He started his career off 10-0 in Texas, and now he's 1-3.
Stuff. He was definitely in trouble. He was 100% hurt.
Big win for Pavlovich.
Wow, who would have thought after his UFC debut against old Alistair Overeem?
Davidson Baker, people are going to call early stoppage on this one, but the body language, Derek Lewis didn't do himself any favors. I don't mind. Davidson Baker with the beats. Cool Banana Boy, I have nothing to do with this fight other than getting her done. Would have loved to see Derek Lewis do more. Land a blank chip. And I mean, for Derek Lewis, like, he's still up near the upper echelon. You could make a fight with one of those guys on a 2-fight losing streak, couldn't you?
But that wouldn't really say that you're in the upper echelon if you're fighting people on 2-fight losing streaks, would it? Those are sort of contradictory statements.
Here comes a guy who looks a little bit like Vsauce.
He looks like Artem Lobov by this angle.
Yeah, if you put
jeans on him and cover him in sandbags, he'd look exactly like Artem Lobov.
Michael here. Yeah, Sergey Pavlovich had a big-time win speech after his last fight. He's probably calling for a title shot here.
I couldn't imagine, though.
Sergey Pavlovich, an unstoppable force. Lose to Alistair Overeem.
I'm sorry. That was like the last event. I don't often tweet during the fights, but when you said Nikita Krylov's that guy after he beat Alexander Gustafsson, who hasn't won a fight in like 7 years, I don't think this win makes Sergey Pavlovich that guy. It's just heavyweight's in a weird position right now because there's not a clear-cut number one contender. There's a lot of people who have decent wins or people coming off or underwhelming losses. Like, for Cyril Gane, I still think he's a very talented fighter, but he looked awful against Francis. Let's just call it what it was. Like, I didn't think his grappling was going to look that poor against someone like Francis, so I'm curious to see where he's going to fit back into the division. Tai Tuivasa looked really good, even though I don't necessarily think he's as skilled of a fighter as Cyril Gane is, so it's a really interesting division in the whole entire UFC.
Mike G. Hitting up the chat over there saying, just left the concert, somebody give me... Oh, Davison Figueiredo.
The style.
What a red shirt that is. You want to know who the winners are? I will give you the winners right now. The winners so far tonight, Orion Kosi, Nikolai Negomarianu, Jocelyn Edwards, Michael Morales, Drakkar Klose, Hamdi Abdel-Wahab, Drew Dober, don't throw the booze at the guy, Alex Morono, Magomed Ankalaev, Alessandre Pantoja, and Sergey Pavlovich. And we have 2 title fights that remain. Fortune Fame, Mir Vane, Gone Insane. Matt, the memory remains. In the memory of 2019 when these two first fought, Brandon Moreno taking on Kai Kara France. Obviously, both guys have showed wrinkles to their game since the first fight. But man, that first fight was good.
It was a very fun fight. Very competitive fight, too. Both guys showed a lot of really nice striking skills throughout that matchup, but the thing was, Moreno's cardio seemed to be a really big key in even only a 3-round fight. So I'll be curious to see how much better he looks in a 5-round atmosphere, because again, Brandon Moreno in a 5-round fight is a lot better than Brandon Moreno in a 3-round fight. It feels like he doesn't lose 3-round fights, he just runs out of time sometimes. So I think this is going to favor him quite a bit, and I do think he's a much better grappler too.
Big time opportunity for both of these fellas. And when you look at it for Kai Kara France, obviously his last one over Askar Askarov was a giant stepping stone. I mean, into this interim chance at the belt. And for the former champion Brandon Moreno, a chance to finally have a game plan against a fighter not named Davison Figueiredo is in the crowd.
It's been one of the better rivalries, though, that I can remember. Like, all 3 of their fights were genuinely incredible. So I was very happy to see that trilogy sort of logjam the division, if we're being honest. But, again, Kara France more than deserving of this opportunity. I don't see anybody out there complaining that Brandon Moreno found himself back in a title shot, even though he is coming off a loss to the current champ. So if Moreno wins, seeing... like a 4th fight against Davison Figueiredo would be absolutely insane, but it's still a fight that I'd love to see. I'd watch them fight each other 10 times.
Apparently we have 2 minutes and 20 seconds before a Modelo moment, whatever that's about.
Probably someone getting inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Huh, could be. When you do look at this fight, though, I mean, for Moreno, for Kai Kara, we're getting a movie preview.
Ryan Gosling and Chris Evans.
What's the movie?
I don't know.
The Gray Man?
Oh, it is, isn't it? By the Russo brothers.
Who?
Who?
Brandon Moreno, though, you look at the wins on the way up. I mean, Jussier Formiga on that scale. And, of course, Alex Perez was able to get the win over Formiga. But Formiga's going to be one of those guys that's forgotten in the hands of time. An all-time flyweight.
At all times.
I was always there for Formiga fight.
Okay, but just because you were doesn't mean he's an all-time great in the division. Like, I like Grievous Vasquez for the Raptors, but he's not going to make any Hall of Fame induction ceremony.
Grievous from 3.
Hit that one big buzzer beater against the Milwaukee Bucks. I'll never forget it. This should be a really fun fight, though. Again, I think this is probably going to be fight night on the card, and that's even with Alves and Drew Dober being as good as it was.
Landon Blankenship, The Gray Man was very good. Gray Man.
Good.
Oh, it's on Netflix this
Oh,
movie.
well, I might watch it.
I'm not a big movie guy lately, so maybe.
I was watching some foreign language horror movies. I don't know why, but I watched like 3 in a row. Just a weird loop I got into.
Best thing about The Gray Man, Ana de Armas, Chef's Kiss.
Knives Out's a great movie.
No, 100%.
She's
what about
in
the
that.
new one?
I'm excited for it.
I didn't think I was gonna like that
Oh,
movie.
it was so good.
There's movies out there, folks, that I don't jive with, and I thought Knives Out, this is gonna be too cheesy. I'm not gonna like it. I liked it.
Southern Daniel Craig pretending to be a detective. It's good stuff.
I think he's the best Bond. I know I'm alone on that hill.
No,
I'm
you're
one of
not.
the few. I think he's the best Bond.
That's not a hot take.
A lot of
at
people
all.
like Roger Moore.
Craig, how many 78-year-olds are you debating the James Bond series with?
Just the way it is. DK Plays. What's good, bros? Respect from Australia. I've been watching your vids for about a year now. DK Plays, virtual fist bump.
Craig's like, everyone I talk to is a big Sean Connery stan.
Oh.
Surely you're your biggest fan.
Oh.
Sean Connery.
Brandon Moreno, Kai Kara France. Amazing first round of their last fight. Kind of like watching Alessandro Pantoja, Alex Perez for the first 15 seconds.
Pantoja comes out like a 5-alarm fire.
It's like they just had a gentleman's agreement that we're just going to stand and bang.
I liked it, though. I was here for it.
It was a lot of fun. Prediction Shark. Guys, was it an early stoppage for the Black Beast? We're going to disagree on that, I'm sure.
It was, though. How can you say it wasn't? He immediately got up. He wasn't out or anything. Like, he wasn't in any long-term danger.
Unanswered power shots.
But they
not
were...
good body language.
Craig, he went for a takedown, got kind of stuffed, and because he was rocked, ended up going to all fours and immediately got back up. Most of the time, you at least let the fighter try to get back up one time, and if they get hit, they go down. And this is just because we disagreed on the pick. Like, that was easily an early stoppage.
Heavyweights thrown around. I mean, referees are in there to protect the fighter.
But they weren't all that clean of shots, though. It wasn't like he was hitting him with these massive power shots that were turning his head back. Like, 2 of them were clean, and a lot of them were hitting his shoulders. I think it was, again, he could have finished him a minute after, but at the time, it was definitely an early stoppage.
Don't think we're going to get an early stoppage in Moreno and Kai France. I certainly hope not.
Without a doubt.
Be a wild night if we did.
You're right, he shouldn't cover up like that, but think of the Volkov fight. In the Volkov fight, he turned his back and covered up. They let that fight go on. He knocked him out in the 3rd round. And you can't tell me he was in more danger in this fight than he was in the Volkov fight for 2 rounds. So, there you go. Derek Lewis has even shown the ability to come back from them. Travis Brown had him hurt worse than that. Travis Brown kicked him in the body, had him walk across the cage and turn his back. And that was an early stoppage because he didn't get stopped. So, there is not an argument a person can make to me that that was not an early stoppage at this point.
66% of the fans at Fight Night picks going with Brandon Moreno to win in the rematch. Won the first fight.
No, he didn't.
See if he can win the second fight.
Kai Kara-France could have made the improvements. That's the thing we were talking about. Like, City Kickboxing is really good in the rematches, and they do show that they are a very cerebral camp. So maybe Kai and the City Kickboxing guys have been able to find some wrinkle in Brandon Moreno's game that they might be able to take advantage of.
And, I mean, I see it there, Cool Banana Boy. Logan Lucky, Daniel Craig's best movie. There was a time when they tried to make Daniel Craig a giant blockbuster star, and this was around the early fights, and you know where I'm going with this one. When they put him in Cowboys versus Aliens, that's the first one.
Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is good.
What was the one he was in with the polar bear? Golden...
Oh, the Golden Express.
Yeah, and they had the PS3 game, and it was like a franchise marquee. This is going to be giant, and then it just...
Still a great actor.
Daniel Craig, Southern gentleman.
Wow, left Craig Allen wanting more, perhaps. What a strange take to have.
Golden Compass. You had to be there. It was a time and a place. It was a vibe.
I remember.
It was a 2010 vibe.
The amount of things that you just
Munich
see like old man yells.
Munich's a good movie.
Was good.
Golden Compass, not Express. See, I got it on the second one. It's been a long time.
Quite the forgettable movie.
Kai Kara France.
But Knives Out. Can't wait for the sequel.
Knives Out. Oh, it's going to be great.
There's a mission in the 3rd Hitman game that's basically Knives Out the movie. There's a fun fact.
I'm going to get another beverage for this fight.
Go for it.
Beverage.
I'll drive the banter bus while you're out. So, here's the thing about this rematch. It will be interesting to see how Kai Kara-France does if this does go to the 4th and 5th round, because we have not seen him get tested in a really tough back-and-forth fight at this level against someone like Brandon Moreno, who, again, is a proven guy, especially with his cardio at this stage of his career. So, I think for Kai Kara-France, he's going to have to answer a lot of questions, especially about his stability throughout this fight, as Blues fan 1700 sends $5 and says, my biggest issue with the lack of consistency in the officiating and judges versus a single event such as this early stoppage.
Yeah, and I mean, Blues fan 1700 has a really good point, because depending on commission, depending on location, depending on who you get, I mean, again, we saw really weird scoring at the start of this fight. Now, there have been plenty of finishes, and the scorecards haven't been too weird since the start, but inexperienced judges. And that was one of the first things before the first fight that John Anik said. He said, you're going to see a lot of officiants here this week that don't have a ton of experience.
Which is weird. You wouldn't think they'd want to test them at the UFC level.
But always in Texas.
Oh, yeah, because Texas is a backwards commit. Like, Texas, even with boxing, has gone back years and years with controversial decisions. Juan Diaz versus Paulie Malignaggi. I don't know how I know this, but that was a controversial one. Juan Diaz, a big star down in Texas at the time. I'm excited for Danny Garcia fighting. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a big Danny Garcia fan. I thought he was
Kai
gonna
Care
beat
France
France.
making it in. Dartmoor is a great map, says Danny D.
It is, see? That's a guy who's played some games.
Danny D hanging out in the chat. It is much appreciated, Matt. About 150 tuning in. We certainly appreciate it from you. The super chat's been popping off. Obviously, Question Mark Kicks was a great wild show. And we're tied for the picks tonight.
Good job.
And we have the same two in this fight. So it could end up well or it could end up poor. We'll find out. It'll be positive nonetheless. But Kai Care France taking on Brandon Moreno in this one. Majority of the fans at Fight Night Picks going with Moreno. Now, interesting to see. I mean, earlier on tonight, we had Jiyeon Kim taking on Jocelyn Edwards. And that was a fight that I referenced because one of the judges had it 30-27 Edwards. One had it 29-28 Edwards. One had it 29-28 Kim. And to me, it seemed like round 1, round 3, Edwards. Easily. Round 2, Kim. So it really was surprising to me that that's the way that one went. Hetzi saying, only loss for me tonight is Semmelsberger because of your guys' video. Thanks, guys. Let's go Moreno and Nunes.
Well, that means that you also got all of your wins because you listened to us, too. So, hey, you win some, you lose some. It is life.
Every week we get flack like that. And if we went 100% every week, I wouldn't be here on the screen making a video like this. I'd be on a yacht in the ocean.
Wow. I would not. I hate the ocean with a fiery passion.
I'd sign up Joe Jonas to sing the cake by the ocean. The keg by the
I
ocean.
thought you were going to say burn it up. The best Jonas Brothers. Yeah, by far the best Jonas Brothers song.
And now, the other Jonas is on a TV show. Frankie Jonas.
Which
Kevin Jonas.
Which Jonas was on the one with Frank Grillo?
I was being positive. It didn't sound positive. Frank Grillo. Oh, that was Nick Jonas.
Nick Jonas.
Yeah.
Unbreakable.
Those kooky Jonas brothers.
They're just always up.
Is France worth... I mean, we didn't pick him, Crime Steam, so I don't know, pal. Brandon Moreno, mean mugging as he does. Headband as he does.
Nice
Short
guy
hair.
outside the cage, mean guy inside of it.
Loves Pop Funkos. Loves Lego.
Like Miles Turner. Miles Turner, big into the Legos.
Pablo, I think Car France gets it done having those two champs beside him every day should be inspiring AF at the least. And with that logic, Blood Diamond should have beaten a depleted Orion Kosi.
I think Kai Care France probably trains a lot more directly with Volkanovski and Israel Adesanya than Blood Diamond probably does.
I think Shane Young probably would too.
Probably not. That's the thing. Like, there's no way that Blood Diamond and Israel Adesanya are sparring every day. Like, Carlos Alberg maybe, just because of the size. But
Carlos Alberg, an interesting prospect.
I like watching him fight, that's for sure. Not because he's going to win them all, but they are fun.
Kids down to clown. James Krause in the corner of one Brandon Moreno, who's a guy who looks like you get slapped up by his coach before the fight. Get into it.
Is that like a secret desire you want to have happen to you? Like you always wanted a coach to slap you before a game?
And then get into it. The Tijuana Terror has arrived, says Ryan. I need Moreno decision. Debbie's going with Moreno. Let us know in the chat who you have. Idris Elba's in a movie called Beast. I've never heard of it until tonight.
He was in a movie on Netflix called Beast of No Nation, and I was like,
Remember
why
the movie
did
he
they
was
just
in where he was a
re-release it?
DJ?
No.
Yeah, there was an Idris Elba movie where he was a DJ. Fun stuff. DJ Idris. World's Sexiest Man next to Blake Shelton. Also World's Sexiest Man. Blake Shelton.
Wow.
Never forget that.
If that's the standard we all measure ourselves by, I think we're all doing pretty
Piper Ramirez,
good.
is Blood Diamond done considering he's 34? Yep. Alan Amedovski's about the same age. He's fought 3 times in the UFC. He's lost 3 all by finish.
What's Alan Amedovski's MMA record,
His
though?
last one by finish, 8-0, but Blood Diamond, you can... But the crutch is the kickboxing career.
But 3-2 is an MMA fight. Like, Gokhan Saki, you could use his kickboxing career as a crutch, but he was still pretty bad in MMA. Had big power, though, that
Fun fights.
Oh, yeah. Put you on a poster if you weren't careful.
Luis Enrique. See you later.
Even he was, like, kind of lighting him up before he got hit, though.
Blues fan with the super chat. Let's say Pantoja gets one of these guys. What should happen? What's your prediction of the possible matchup?
Pantoja's low-key beat the brakes off Brandon Moreno twice.
I say he beats Moreno.
Struggles with Cara France.
And I don't know if he'd be able to beat the champ Figueiredo. That's a tough one.
I think he'd have a
Figueiredo hits harder,
easier.
even though they bang.
Well, he beat Pantoja quite soundly in their first fight,
that's
so...
it. Bruce Buffer with the sauce. Blue in the middle to the red.
In a one-colored suit. He's been doing that, like, kind of silver and gold one lately. It's a bunch of different colors. But...
He's got the one that looks like a bunch of paper clips.
Yeah.
It's an odd one.
It is.
It's a weird look.
But hey, He is Bruce Buffer. One half of the Buffer brothers.
I mean, I went to a wedding a couple weeks ago and wore boat shoes and a purple sports jacket, so.
Wow.
Rocking it like it's New England. Herb Dean, the referee for this matchup, so you know it's going to be fun.
Oh, yeah. If you want to see a mildly late stoppage.
Herb's in it to win it.
Derek Lewis wishes Herb Dean was his ref that last fight.
ACA wishes Herb Dean was refereeing the fight that ended due to no action. Due to boringness. Kai Kara-France has had the darkest look to his eyes that I've ever seen, like he's summoning a demon. Kai Kara-France is going to put a spell on Brandon Moreno before this fight.
I think I could beat Kai Kara-France in a game of pickup. That's what I will say. That's my fight night prediction.
He's 5'4".
Exactly. That's what I mean.
You'd open hand slap, make that gross volleyball.
I would. I'd do like Dikembe Mutombo taunts to him. I'd feel terrible about it.
The one halfway competitive basketball game I played in my life. Played intramurals. Went hard. Ham. It was one of the best games I've ever played. And then the night after it, I broke my arm playing hockey and never played basketball again.
I played all the time. It's good.
A lot of people going with Kai Kara-France over in the chat, Matt.
And there is good reason to. Again, he's made massive improvements since their first fight. He's looked really good, especially as of late in his last two performances against Cody Garbrandt and Askar Askarov. Thank you. But Brandon Moreno is kind of a different animal. You know, he's got great cardio. He has good grappling. He has great striking. He is so well-rounded at this stage of his career that it will be fine to find one sort of niche area that Kai Kara-France can have a lot of success in.
Butter Toast saying this will be Mohammed Makayev's division soon. It very well could be. We saw some wrinkles in his game the last time out.
Oh, without a doubt. Brandon Moreno is probably going to be the most popular fighter tonight. By far in Texas.
Moreno putting the fist out there.
I never really thought of that. Not that it's a hometown fight for him, but...
Oh, yeah, 100%. Texas to Mexico connection.
Exactly. There'd be a lot of Spanish fans.
Training at an American gym. Taking on New Zealand's own Kai Kara-France. We get the timer set for the first round. Herb Dean referee. Moreno, KKF for the interim belt. Should be a lot of fun between these two guys. And Kara-France closing the distance early, taking center of the cage.
It'll be wild if we get another early stoppage in this fight. Just early finish, I should say. Like, a lot of stoppages on this card.
2 first-round finishes in our last 2 fights, and a second-round finish for Magomed Ankalaev against Anthony Smith. Kara-France doing a great job here. Trying to cover distance. Leg kick misses.
And for Brandon Moreno, he does like to fight at a very high pace throughout his fights. He's someone who tends to have a phenomenal cardio. It was weird because earlier on in his career, he did struggle as fights would go on late because he didn't really know how to pace himself throughout fights. But I feel like the trilogy against Figueiredo has really helped him learn that.
And for Kara-France, looking like he's trying to close the distance here with these leg kicks, but he hasn't been able to figure it out. And for Moreno, he's got the length of a bantamweight. He's just not filled out that way. And I know that might sound silly to some people. Big step in left hook there from Moreno. Didn't look like it caught all of the target.
I do think Kai Kara-France is the heavier hands, though. That's for sure.
A little bit of a nut shot there. Oh, we have the opportunity to pause, Matt.
Oh, no.
Brandon Moreno gets some time to recover. Paused it right on the 349. You'll love it when that happens. Brandon Moreno, middle fingers in the cage. Testing out the groin. Seeing if he's ready to fight. He says, I'm good.
It's pretty clean.
Herb Dean asking him if his nads are fit and ready. And Moreno takes some more time.
I feel like that'd be extremely unprofessional if Herb Dean went up to Brandon Moreno and said, are your nads fit and ready, son?
Moreno's ready to go. Herb Dean wants to get this action moving. And there we go. Resuming the action. Brandon Moreno, Kai Kara-France. Landon saying taking Kai.
Left high kick from Moreno. He had a lot of success with that in their first fight.
But 1.5 minutes is what we're closing in on in the first round of 5 5-minute rounds for the title. Interim flyweight gold. Moreno with his fingers outstretched. You know Herb Dean's going to say something about that.
Herb Dean's reffed enough John Jones fights, though. He'll let him go.
Brandon Moreno keeping those palms out. Maybe he'll give him an old Stockton slap on an entry.
Kai's having a hard time with the range early on in the fight, though. Only 2 minutes in. He has plenty of time.
And he had great success blitzing in the first matchup, right?
He certainly did. But that might be the problem. If he does start blitzing in, that means his gas tank's going to go down a lot faster. And if he doesn't, he might just have to wait on the outside and just get pot shotted by Brandon Moreno. But neither guy's been able to have a ton of success at this range so far.
Yeah, and for Kai France did a great job. He tries to counter on the kick. Did a great job of pawing his left hand out there to land his power right against Cody Garbrandt in that big-time knockout fashion that he was able to get it done.
Moreno's definitely more durable than Cody Garbrandt, though. I would say they land on opposite sides of that spectrum.
Both guys really feeling out the action here. Plenty of time to work. Halfway through our first round, black trunks for Car France, green with the monster logo for Moreno.
Ooh, good left hand.
Pawing left hand lands there for Moreno. And Car France starting to concede a little bit of the distance here, not getting the center of the octagon like he had established at the start of the fight.
And that's where he normally does have his most success. He can strike moving backwards, but he's a lot better when he's the one forcing the action and pressuring his opponent.
Moreno looking to get freaky.
Moreno's fighting hard with that left hook. He's been able to land it a few times and it's really gotten Car France's attention.
And a good inside leg kick there from Car France to land. Finally has some success, and now he does it, but almost non-committal in some of these shots.
Yeah, he hasn't really landed anything with 100% power behind it. Until that right hand, he stepped in well with that.
Ooh, good level change there from Moreno. Grabs the single leg. Car France popping, hanging out.
And if Moreno is able to get on top, that'll be by far his most advantageous position.
Moreno grabs the back.
This is a big spot for him.
But a minute and a half remaining in this first round. We saw Pantoja do this to great success, and Car France is out of there. Good job.
Really good scrambles, yeah. Great takedown defense.
New Zealand's own. He was able to defend 12 of 14 Askarov takedown attempts, and he defends the first one out of Brandon Moreno right there.
Really difficult first round to score so far.
Will be. Closing in on 110 left in the first round. Moreno pawing that left hand out there, hits air.
Yeah, really trying to land that left hook.
Have to think one big flurry could ultimately sway a judge.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Good leg kick for Car France. Good left hand for Moreno.
Moreno's trying to be active with that left hand, either with the jab or with the hook.
50 seconds remain in the round. If you scored it either way, I wouldn't argue with you. Big right hand lands for Car France.
Yeah, that was big.
Moreno's got to do something to gain the respect back. He's trying to close the distance. Good leg kick from Car France. 30 seconds left in the round. Ooh.
Oh, that might have been a big right hand by Moreno.
Big shots from Moreno here. Gets a smile out of his opponent.
Really close round.
Almost like a bit of a shuffle there from Moreno. Missed the target completely, and they reset. He had his opponent pressed up against the cage. Missed on it, and they're at the center of the octagon. 10 seconds left.
Feint it with that inside elbow.
Anything could do it. Ooh, looked like a bit of a cup check there. That's going to be one. This is going to be one if the fight ends in a decision. That first round's a swing round.
Exactly. That's a good way of describing it.
You tell me what you thought, folks out there that are tuning in. We'll get a look at the total number of strikes. It says 11-7, but man, that one's tough. Doug's saying, we might need more volume. I'd say you do.
Without a doubt from both guys, really.
I'm going to say Moreno, but you could sway me either way.
Yeah, I have no idea who won that round. At all.
For the sake of scoring, to have fun, I'm going to say Moreno. Be really interested to see what people think. Blues fan 1-0 Moreno, I think. Mike, 1 minute out. Oh. Moreno ever so slightly from Pablo. If that's a narrative, we'll go with that one. Ron saying 1-0 France, who's also saying I'd sleep anyone in the chat. So
aggro.
Send it out some mixed vibes,
Ron, you woke up this morning and chose violence.
Doug Chop saying
pick up around 100 people on the internet today. That's what you decided.
Score it a 10-10 if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
I'd be fine with it.
Set a good precedent.
Get started for the second round. What are the live odds? No idea. Inexperienced judges could score a 10-8 for somebody.
What do you think the odds are Chael Sonnen really knows D.B. Cooper? 20%?
Yeah.
I'd say about 20. I want it to be true. I'm not.
Did you watch the documentary?
No, I haven't.
I did.
Chael Sonnen told me it was hot trash.
Both guys clinch up. Little knee there in the clinch for Brandon Moreno. It was all right. It wasn't the best, though.
It certainly was not.
30 seconds into the round, we've already had more action than we did in the entire first round.
Which is nice to see.
Moreno, herky-jerky, looking like an old Ben Rothwell. Kara-France on the outside. What can he do? Landon saying 9-9 first round. Who lost a point, Landon?
A lot of feints from both guys. Joe Rogan's wet dream.
Israel Adesanya. He's fainting with the hips.
He's like, wow, oh my goodness. He hasn't hit Jan Blachowicz in 11 minutes, but boy, he's making him react from the outside.
Moreno's coming in here, looking to throw a little bit more volume than he did in the first round. You saw that high kick hit the defenses. That's got to slap on those arms. It's got to cause him a little bit of discomfort.
Could you imagine UFC? Mild amounts of discomfort.
Minute and a half into round number 2. Real feeling out process. It's like watching a chess game that goes on for hours. Ooh, head kick attempt for Kara-France. He gives up the back.
Back again.
Now, Moreno was in this same position here. Same position in the first. He wasn't able to do anything with it. Now, Kara-France, excellent takedown defense.
He certainly does. And with how good his striking is, like, it's wild that his grappling's been able to catch up to it in a lot of aspects.
Kara-France punching around and hitting Brandon Moreno in the back of the head, but that's fine here. Moreno looking to try and get a little creative. Ooh, the elbows from Brandon Moreno.
Interesting. And here's the thing. I talked about Brandon Moreno and his better cardio in this matchup. It really won't matter if this is the pace that they fight at, because I'm not worried about Kara-France's cardio if he's allowed to fight at this pace.
Moreno throwing a combo out there, punches arms. Halfway through the second round. Moreno. Kara-France. Moreno going for another takedown. Kara-France slips. Head kick attempt from Moreno. Nothing lands.
Takedown defense.
And a good opportunity for both of these men. Phoenix, you're doing the Lord's work over there in the chat.
Good right hand down in the middle for Moreno. Has not been able to land a lot of them. Already halfway through this round, a little bit over.
Kara-France. Got to start mixing it up in this round. Punches air. Missteps. I mean, for Kara-France, who eats a right hand there for his troubles trying to close the distance, Brandon Moreno now really pressuring forward. For Kara-France, do you think you really put a lot of stock into conserving that gas tank as the later this fight goes?
Probably, because in his mind, he's like, okay, well, I hardly expended myself in the first or second round, so I probably get a lot left in the tank, and I probably at least split the rounds, or maybe at least one of them. So I think for Kara-France, he's positioned himself to be in a pretty good spot going into the third round of this fight.
Brandon Moreno eats a left hand. Kara-France starting to come alive here in the later stages of this one.
Moreno needs more straight shots. These looping shots aren't really getting to his opponent on time.
Yeah, Kara-France starting to get busy. A lot of these shots have been blocked here, and he hit air on the leg kick attempt.
But at least he's throwing them. I'd much rather him throw them and them get blocked than him just not throw them. Whereas Moreno's kind of standing there throwing a lot of feints and movement out.
Closing in on a minute remaining. Moreno pushing the pace here, but not really landing anything. Octagon control, you'd say, is in his favor.
But that doesn't matter, really.
Ron saying razor close fight.
Don't want to disagree with Ron. Ronald,
put your leg kick out. That kind of catches Brandon Moreno off his own kick. Have to wonder how that scores with the judges.
Ron's like Roy Jones Jr. in Buffalo Wild Wings.
35 seconds remaining here in the second round is a word from Dean Thomas. Dean Thomas, coach of Jillian Robertson.
Insightful as always. Hard fight to score so far.
Both guys getting busy. 20 seconds remain. James saying France stealing the round. He very well could. Good finish here from both guys. 10 seconds left. Leave it all out in the clothesline. Both guys trying to get active, and then they're caught in a bit of a dance.
Insanely difficult fight to score. Either guy could be up 2-0. It could be tied.
Kara-France came back in terms of the total strikes, and for me, I probably have it 1-1.
Yeah, even though it could be 2-0
give it 2-0 Moreno.
I think it's hard to give him the second round.
Yeah, I'd
but
say
they
1-1.
were close.
First round Moreno, second round Kara-France. Let us know over there in the comments section, because again, Kara-France did come alive there in the last minute and a half.
But incredibly difficult to score.
Getting some highlights here. Marcus, any damage on the fighters' faces? Not really. They keep icing their...
Moreno has a bit of a mouse under his right eye
from
a couple jabs, but that's it.
Pipe saying, let's leave it 1-1. I think Car-France stole it in the last minute. Closer. Give France that 1-1-1. I'm with you 1-1. Seems like everybody's in agreement over there. James Krause, Jim overrated. Just like his career run.
Okay, who's out here being like, who was really good? Should be in the Hall of Fame? James Krause.
I mean, he did.
How do
he's
you
on a
overrate
winch.
an unranked fighter?
Question.
Who's rating him higher?
And 1-2-0 Moreno. I'm not going to disagree. 10 seconds into the
I'm
third
going
round.
to.
Car-France closed the distance quickly. And now we're feeling it out. Minus 500 live line Moreno.
Let me go put everything I've ever had and will have on.
Oh, Moreno pulling guard. Trying to go for a submission. Kind of getting a weird
I think he's the far better grappler, so.
body triangle. Car-France obliging. Will he be able to get a triangle out of this position or an armbar? Didn't see this coming.
There's a cut under one of the eyes of Brandon Moreno. Some blood coming down his face.
Car-France hammering away.
Ooh, those are some big shots that he landed on
Moreno looking...
Some of those might have hurt Moreno.
Moreno was getting hit in those exchanges. Moreno's bleeding under that right eye now. Great opportunity for Car-France there in the first minute of this third round.
100%. That's real damage.
In a close fight, Car-France pouring it on, and Herb Dean trying to get a good look at that one. Moreno's missing the target here.
Car-France seems to be a little bit faster in the feet right now.
Moreno coming through with a big left hand. Car-France doing a good job of these kicks. Eats a left hand for his troubles. Herb Dean getting a stern look.
Moreno's having a hard time landing up anything else, though, after the left hand lands initially.
Trying to blink out his right eye. You can see that on the camera, but he's doing a good job landing his left hand here now.
Oh, yeah.
3:20 remains. Car-France with the big actions in the first minute of this fight. Moreno trying to go for broke, pulling guard. Uppercut.
That was a big uppercut by Car-France.
3 minutes remain here. Ooh, big shots from Car-France.
Those were clean 1-2s down the middle.
Moreno's having a really hard job here. Car-France coming
Good
alive.
leg kick.
Oh! Big right hand from Car-France.
Really pulling away in this third round.
Craig and Matt, do you guys think it's 2-0 Moreno? I got it 1-1.
Could be 2-0 Car-France, could be 2-0 Moreno. Definitely the third round's going for Car-France.
Halfway through this third round, and Brandon Moreno's starting to get hit hard at distance. Car-France doing a great job getting out of damage. 2:15 left. Third round. Things are heating up at flyweight.
Great performance so far by Car-France.
Herb Dean way out of the action.
Will we get another Herb Dean Bigfoot meme of him running across the cage?
Oh, big time left hand lands for Car-France on that damaged side of Moreno. Good leg kick from Moreno.
He needs more though. It's single shot and then him just kind of waiting and then getting hit by a couple.
Remember when Brandon Moreno was a minus 500 favorite at the start of this round?
I do.
Live lines don't always tell you the story. Ooh, big time left hand lands for Brandon Moreno. Continues to pressure the action. Car-France gains the distance. They're both standing in the center of the cage.
Good jabs, but again, the shots that Kai landed in this round were way more impactful than the ones Moreno could.
Big body kick there from Moreno. Big right hand over the top from Car-France.
Good left hook on the exchange by Moreno, but again, nothing after it.
Minute 10 remains here, round number 3. Good right hand landed for Car-France.
Yeah, he's starting to time the jab on Moreno and starting to try to hit him over the top of it right now.
Less than a minute remains here. Car-France with a giant first minute. Since then, it's been a lot of 50-50 action.
Easily his round, though.
Takedown attempt from Car-France. Wow. Grabs the single leg, doesn't do anything with it. Good body kick there from Moreno. He hurts Car-France.
Oh my goodness, he did hurt him with a body kick. That's insane.
Big ground and pound from Brandon Moreno. Herb Dean's going to stop the fight. Oh my gosh, Brandon Moreno entered flyweight Cruiserweight champion. Wow.
What a comeback.
Tonight, the night of the body shot. Drew Dober against Ankalaev and Brandon Moreno.
I thought that was a low blow at first.
Finishes Kai Kara France.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Brandon Moreno. What dreams are made of.
Kai Kara France was cruising through that round. He was starting to gain all the momentum, and then one body kick lands and completely changes it.
Oh my gosh.
What an absolute wild comeback from where that fight was headed. He seemed like he'd completely lost momentum.
Brandon
That's
Moreno,
insane.
what a win. Body kick, hits the liver, drops him. What a finish win for Brandon Moreno. Wow.
That was wild.
Pablo, we're going to have to see that on
Yeah,
the
I'd
rematch.
love to see a replay of it. Don't really know where that landed.
Do you make Kai Kara France Pantoja?
Could. Yeah, Kai Kara France isn't complaining, so I don't think it was a low blow.
Yeah,
It did look like it, to be completely honest, when I first saw
I thought it was. He went down fast.
He did,
He went
but-
down Donald Cerrone hard.
It must have been like the toes almost to the liver. Edson Barbosa stopped somebody like that. I can't remember off the top of my head, but... Yeah, exactly. Like, you'd think he'd be losing his mind if it was a low blow.
Davison Figueiredo with a black tiger. If you're a champ, fight for the belt. Don't let interim fights happen.
Well, he did beat the guy who's fighting for it twice already, so...
It's an odd one.
Let's see this kick.
Yeah, you hit him right there.
I did not see... Well, I couldn't tell at all. Brandon Moreno's body was in front of it.
Heavy ground and pound. Get another look. Oh, yeah, that was right
all
to the body.
Yeah. Got him right under the elbow. It looked like caught him right in the
Debbie's
stomach.
saying low blow. Debbie, you got to watch that one again. He kicked him right to the liver.
Yeah, you got him in the
Yeah,
stomach.
you
The
gotta
first
watch
couple ones did look like it was a low blow, but...
The last one, you can see exactly where he hits him. Here's another look. Oh, right to the liver. Drops him.
Oh my goodness. What a wild finish to that fight. Again, Kai Kara France looked like he had completely taken momentum in that fight.
And I mean, if you look at it for Brandon Moreno, 1-1 against Davison Figueiredo. I haven't wanted a fourth fight like this since Vanderlei Silva Rampage Jackson 4.
So let's wait
A
11
fight we've
years.
already talked about once today, you and I.
What a great fight that was, though, at the end, I guess. The first two rounds were kind of tough, but Brandon Moreno, he can knock you out, he can choke you out. He's a great fighter.
Heck of a fight for Brandon Moreno and a big win. He's a champion again. He can afford his Pop Funkos.
Buy some more Legos.
Joe Rogan. Dana White's here to give away the belt. Dana White,
Good
ladies
for
and
him.
gentlemen.
A guy who
Bob
hates
McMahon.
Nate Diaz.
You know what you're seeing a lot of now?
Sean Shelby?
Not Sean Shelby. I think the takeover strategy is in full effect, and I know he's a giant figure. I think Hunter Campbell's like really starting to get his face out there.
I think
so people
Dana Carvey
recognize
is
him.
going to replace Dana White. That's my big hot take.
I think it's Hunter Campbell. But a giant win there for Brandon Moreno, whose right eye is swelling hard. Ron, he was down 3 rounds. I don't know. He wasn't down 3.
He could have been, though. That's what I mean. Like, that's how close the fight was. I don't think it's controversial to say he was down 3 at all.
Brandon Moreno with an empty can of Monster Energy.
Because the round that he won, he outlanded by 4 significant strikes. So that's, what, 1 a minute, barely. And then, or not even. And then the second round, Kai probably definitely won. Third round, Kai was well on his way of winning. So, yeah, that was a really nice performance for Brandon Moreno to be able to come back. Pantoja versus Moreno 3, that'd be really fun too. So, ton of great fights to be had in this division. Another stoppage too. Everybody getting knocked out.
UFC 277. Not getting paid by the hour.
I will say this though. I don't know if Brandon Moreno beats Figueiredo in their next fight because he was getting clipped a little bit by Kai on the feet, and I think we all understand just how much harder Davison Figueiredo hits than somebody like Kai Kara France, but that was still a great comeback win. Just a really great rally by Moreno, in the third round.
Just depends on how the newly established American-trained Davison Figueiredo's new management makes out.
Exactly.
Because the kid's wearing flashy shirts.
I always like watching Davison Figueiredo fight, though.
Oh, body kick from Brandon Moreno. And you saw a lot of kicks from Moreno featured in this fight.
He went to the high kick a lot against Kai in their first matchup, so I'm assuming Kai probably was already just used to blocking the head when he saw that left kick coming, and that's why he was going to block the head. And then, yeah, completely opened the body kick, so really great adjustment for Brandon Moreno.
And a good stoppage by Herb Dean in that one.
Oh, 100%.
They never get credit on the good stoppages.
Exactly.
Only get cussed out on the bad ones.
But damn. Great stoppage for Moreno.
Brandon Moreno, belt once more. Does he get a ruby off an interim belt?
I do not
Do they
know.
add that one in there?
Just let them have multiple belts. Because the picture's always cool when the champ's holding like 7 of them. That's the one great thing about boxing. When an undisputed champ has 4 belts, like, you really do look like a badass.
How bummed out are you that we don't get Jake Paul Hassim Rahman Jr.?
I'll never forget one of the funniest things I've ever heard on sports talk radio when Dino Costa had a show all the way back when. And
Dino Costa, that was the guy that didn't mind letting it fly.
He just let it go. And Roger Clemens said, I don't give a rat's ass about going into the Hall of Fame. And Dino Costa said, well, he must care a lot about rats' asses, because all this man should care about is the Hall of Fame. Don't know where I was going with that, but I don't give a rat's ass. That's basically what I'm getting after.
Dino Costa's on the level with Greg Zonov, and that's my Sunday roast.
Dino Costa, I remember being driven to a baseball game in like a city next to our city, or a small town, I should say. And Dino Costa couldn't find a pen, so he just lost his mind and went nuclear on everybody. And he was like, no, give me this effing pen. I can't find nothing to write with.
It was guy great. They never give a permanent show to, but they let him fill in for a week or two.
And then he just kept on screaming about how he makes Mad Dog Russo all of his money. It was good stuff.
If you gotta pump yourself up that way, you're not putting bread in the basket, pal. Davison Figueiredo popping the sunglasses off indoors because they're not needed.
He's not Corey Hart.
Security Steve's here. Brandon Moreno's 5'7". Joe Rogan looks to be an inch taller, but he's wearing shoes.
Joe Rogan's not a tall man. Carries himself like he tries to be.
Ramirez is really cringe what's happening right now. Oh, they're hugging? Don't hug.
Oh my goodness.
Little studs there.
Davison Figueiredo's like, hey, I'm leaving the division. You can be champ forever.
You ever go watch UFC card live and in person? I've been to 3. UFC Moncton.
They don't really come here all that often.
UFC Halifax, UFC 220. This guy is the best translator.
He's not.
He brings emotion, does English, Portuguese, and Spanish.
I think Buddy who does Shavkat Rakhmonov is number 1.
Yeah, he does pretty good.
He's the manager too, isn't he?
Yeah, he does good. He does good. Joe Rogan.
Who's Buddy in that all white? He's
Jason
the manager.
Host.
Thank you.
Oh, pink is what that one is.
That is. That's, yeah.
Shout out to Virgil. Rip.
I hope we get another fight between the two of them. I have no idea what they're saying. We don't have subtitles. We probably could, but...
Prediction Shark, have you been to a UFC card? Need one more early stoppage, James says. Brandon will beat him. GG.
Wow. No hard feelings between those, man.
Class Moreno, Nunes first round W, book it right now, and one says.
There's a little part of me that really hopes for that, because I'm going to play golf in the morning, and it's very late right now.
It's not as bad as usually these cards get done at like 2, just after 2.
I don't know if you've been watching, Craig. Everybody getting knocked out tonight. Everybody.
Brandon Moreno hugging somebody.
I hope that's his wife.
Somebody to love. Security were like, do we let him in? Raider Dog saying good picks, guys. Raider Dog.
We out here.
I'm soaking up the last month and a half and just letting it happen. Juliana Pena.
Someone who isn't consistent.
Ooh.
What?
The yellowish gold for Amanda Nunes. I like the color. I've never seen that before. And Nina Nunes, who was supposed to fight recently, but the fight fell through. Somebody's going to buy that on the UFC's website and frame it. It's going to be a weird ad to the memorabilia collection.
I don't know how I'd feel about, like, just
well,
knowing
they wash
that someone
it.
else... Yeah, but still, just weird.
Prediction Shark saying, who wins the main event of the evening?
I got Nunes, but
I've got Amanda Nunes.
It's always weird about what happens to a fighter when they were champion immediately after they were champion, because are they back in the frame of mind where they're trying to think, hey,
Brandon Moreno?
Did they really just make the Gray but starring Idris Elba versus a lion instead of Liam Neeson versus a wolf?
The Gray Man.
No, that's the Beast, though.
Oh.
No, the Gray Man's got... Come on, Craig, get it together. Because that looked exactly like the gray. I forget what I was talking about. But for Amanda Nunes, it is always weird because sometimes champs immediately fall off the cliff. Insert Luke Rockhold, who I don't know if you know this, is fighting Paulo Costa and was probably going to be the last fight of his MMA career.
Johnny Hendricks. He beat Hector Lombard in Halifax, though.
But Luke Rockhold hasn't even done that, though. That's the problem. Luke Rockhold's just been losing. There was no rebound.
Luke Rockhold, just like Hector Lombard, will fight Thiago Silva with Eagle FC, and it'll end controversially with a no contest.
Luke Rockhold's going to fight Thiago Santos in Eagle FC and probably get knocked out there again. It's just sad. Like, does anybody expect Luke Rockhold to come back and be at least the same version that he was?
I wish the guy would threaten with the groundwork, but he doesn't.
Because he's such a good grappler. He's got phenomenal ground and pound. His submissions are sick. He's got good stand-up, don't get me wrong, but he has a brittle chin. It's fine. He just does. Nothing wrong with that. Achilles was really good, but you know what his weakness was? His Achilles. Luke Rockhold has his chin. And like, that prediction video might be 30 seconds long, because you're going to be like, hi guys, here's the odds, here's some in-depth analysis, you're going to hand it off to me, and I'm going to go, hey, what are we doing
I won for next week, I'm not joking. It's going to be, I'm going to say the prediction in the first 30 seconds, we're going to talk about it for 2 minutes, and then we're going to burn to the next one. I'm not even kidding.
Luke Rockhold might die.
Next weekend, Thiago Santos taking on Jamal Hill
in
the main event. It is a fun fight. Like, I am truly looking forward to that one. You look through it, it is the finale of The Ultimate Fighter. So, of course, you have some interesting matchups. You have Zach Pauga taking on Muhammad Usman. Everybody knows Muhammad Usman to this point. His time with PFL, some of the other regional promotions. Zach Pauga became a pro late in life, which is interesting to see. Undefeated as well. But if you do look at it, Brogan Walker, formerly Brogan Walker Sanchez, taking on Juliana Miller. That's an interesting fight. But, I mean, you look up and down this card, Matt. There are some interesting matchups that you can get behind. Corey McKenna's taking on Miranda Granger. But
Sato, Brian Battle.
That's a fun one because Battle's moving down to 170. But Terrence McKinney, Eric Gonzalez is going to be a 3-minute video.
Oh, I know what Huh? Oh, no. Wow.
And Sam Alvey, Michael
I thought that was going to be also the
3-minute video. There's going to be a few of them.
You might hate Lord Michael, and I know I like him more than I should.
And Josh Quinlan, Jason Witt is going to be like a 3-minute video.
This is my point, though. Sam Alvey hasn't won a fight in God knows how long.
Could it be Dong Jung?
Michael Olashechuk is like a good fighter.
He's 2-3 in his last 5, though.
But they're against good God. Like, is Dustin Jacoby gonna fight Sam Alvey next? Like, what are we doing here? Dustin Jacoby would. Oh.
My favorite thing is when UFC Roster Watch shows the fighters that get cut. There's always a Sam Alvey picture there, smoking the cigar. It makes me laugh. But yeah, next week's card. I mean, again, I'm looking forward to the debut of Josh Quinlan. He's a great striker. He's got a high tie stance. He hits hard. He's well versed on the ground. Granger McKenna's a bit of a flip of a coin. Maeda Bueno Silva taking on Stephanie Egger. That's a fun one. Bueno Silva's a better striker. Egger's better on the ground.
That's the first fight. That's better than half the fights on this card.
Sato battle. Sato hasn't been good lately, but of his good wins, I mean, he's looked very good. And of his losses, striker. Gunnar Nelson held him down, controlled him. Maybe Battle can do that. We'll see what Battle looks like at 170. Looks great on Instagram. Lipski Cachoeiras. Lipski kicks and Cachoeira boxes. So can Lipski keep it at range? We'll find out. Spivak Sakai. Can Spivak do what Blagoy Ivanov couldn't do? Can Augusto Sakai's chin hold up? You have the two tournament championships, and then you have Vicente Luque, Jeff Neal.
Fun co-main event.
Yeah, so it's it's a card. It's a card. I had fun making the graphic though for the thumbnail.
Could Sam Alvey fight Paulo Costa?
In a drinking contest?
I just don't get some of these matchups. I really don't.
What do you think?
Khamzat Chimaev's going to fight Nate Diaz. Nothing makes sense anymore.
Dana White likes chaos.
That's going to be the most one-sided fight in UFC history. Gilbert Burns was able to have a bit of a chance. You know why? Because Gilbert Burns is ridiculously physically strong, so he was able to hold off Chimaev, who's a much larger guy. Nate Diaz is built like you and me. He's that skinny fat, you know? He's got really good cardio. He has good jiu-jitsu.
Dana White's Contender Series next week. We're looking at it. Week 2. Charlie Campbell and Chris Duncan, formerly of Bellator fame.
That fight's going to be awesome.
That's a banger. I know Chris Duncan got knocked out by Slava Borcha, but he was looking really good in the first round.
Charlie Campbell's got some real nice technique with
Billy
his
Goff is going to blow the doors off Shimon Smatrisky, so that's a fight that I'm not looking forward to. But other than, like, it is a decent card. And that main event is, like, a great fight at lightweight. And I think both guys are going to have fun UFC careers, whoever wins that one, if they get signed.
I would agree. I think it's going to be a really fun card. And then Bo Nichols the week after that, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, really good start for Dana White Contender Series so far.
Matt Semmelsberger, Raw Dog, me guys, LMAO. I can't...
Morano just looked a lot faster in that
I said
fight.
it was the biggest 50-50 card on the fight on the card, and I'm sorry that I didn't pick him. I don't know what to tell you.
You're not going to apologize for all of them. It just happens.
Like,
Who
I've
cares?
got what? 3 wrong on this card, I think? 2
Yeah.
wrong?
Both of us have the same. That's all I know.
I don't know what to say. Every week.
Listen, Yanni the Greek gets him wrong too, and he's employed by the UFC, so.
He's a ledge, though.
Is he? He's not Jimmy the Greek. He wishes he had a restaurant named after
I
him.
ate at Jimmy the Greek a couple times, and it's not bad. I'm a Greek food guy, Mediterranean guy. When I
like
travel,
Greek food, but it's not high
when I travel,
quality.
if you're in Quebec, Amir and Bustan, if you like that type of food,
I do like that.
ooh
type of
baby,
food.
you want a nice shawarma plate that's got the salad, it's got the garlic butter, it's got a little bit of everything, little pita, little beef, little chicken, little potato,
Wow.
little rice.
Are you just...
Bustan and Amir,
Wow.
hit them up, hit them up. If I'm not eating Benny and Co, I'm eating Bustan and Amir. And Pizzetta, that's very
Sounds
good.
dirty.
You like pizza? Pizzetta. Not a sponsor. We'll have to get Charles
Let us
Jourdain on
know.
the show. We'll have to ask him these questions.
We should. What are
Here-
his favorite snacks?
There's Jourdain. What do they have in Beloy?
Probably something fun.
Amanda Nunes rocking the gold befitting of a featherweight champion in a division where there are not many a fighter. Many a fighter. Butter Roll saying, amen, Bustan is bomb. You're friggin' right it is. It's great. What's up, y'all? I got my poutine and taters for the boys. Are you having a tater poutine from Mary Brown's?
Those are pretty
Perhaps. Those are good.
good. Mary Brown.
If you like
Talk
Mary
to us,
Brown's, Newfoundland Zone. Is it your favorite chicken place in Canada? I like Dixie Lee, and I like
Dixie
Mary
Lee's good.
Brown's. They're my 2 favorites.
Dixie Lee burns the gravy sometimes, though, and it really ticks me off.
Yeah, I had Dixie Lee at the start of the week, and they buttered the roll weird. It was gross.
I had Fatty's Pizza, and that was good.
Good stuff. Juliana Pena making the walk in...
We're just going to start a new channel where we just list all the stuff that we ate in the run of a week. And that
How's
was
the
quite
pizza?
nice.
If you're around Fredericton, New Brunswick, go to New England Pizza if you want a good experience. Great donaires, and I like cream cheese
Everything
crust.
but their pizza's good.
Yeah, I like their donaires. I'm just the oddity of a cream cheese crust. That's what I'm throwing out. at fans.
There's a place called Fatty's that's good. There's a place called Luna that's good. And then Jack's is also pretty good.
Luna
And
gets a little watery around the center where they put a roll to tell if the pizza's done.
I've ordered about 10 pizzas from there, and they've not done the roll in a meaningful
But a roll
period of
saying,
time.
Doner Pizza.
I like
Doner
Doner
Pizza is
pizza.
definitely good.
What's your favorite novelty, like, kind of weird pizza? Is it doner or barbecue chicken? Because those are the top 2 for me.
Butter roll, you want one more? I'll give you one more. Como's Pizza. If there's a Como's Pizza in the Montreal area, they put a spaghetti sauce, like a meat sauce,
Spaghetti sauce.
instead of your regular pizza sauce.
That sounds
It'll
like
turn
salad.
that frown upside down. It'll make you happy. It's a good little quirk to add on there.
Been
That's
eating
it.
a lot of chicken shawarma lately. That's what I'm going to say.
Juliana Pena wearing black befitting of a champion. Thank you for hanging out as we talk pizza in the late hours, the wee hours of the morn. As Pena gets a hug from cast and crew, and Carrie Hatley watches on.
Oh,
Carrie
I thought
Hatley.
she was going to hug Carrie Hatley.
He deserves one.
He looks like he needs it. He's got bags under his eyes like me after a night out.
The sun's been hard on Carrie Hatley.
Oh.
Seems
Left out
most
dry
every
and
night.
Put away wet. Poor Carrie. You know Carrie needs help finding his hotel after the card.
The man gets lost in a neon moon. Do I mean a bolognese base? It could have been. They said it was a spaghetti sauce. Those were the words. They don't have garlic fingers there, which is weird. Because a garlic finger is a staple of a pizza order. But garlic fingers don't really exist west of the Atlantic provinces. Garlic fingers with a little bit of donair sauce. You got yourself a good time.
We do Donaire's good this side of the country.
You invite your friends over. You crack a couple of Molson Exports. You're having a good time.
Go eat where Matt works. It's really busy all the time. You could. It's going to be a long wait time, though.
Juliana Pena coming in here. Her last 2 wins, the 2-fight win streak. Sean McMahon hitting up the super chat. You have a look at it. I mean, for Pena, beats Sarah McMahon coming off a loss previously to Jermaine Durandamy. And then, of course, shocks the world. Like Matt Serra over GSP in the first fight. Juliana Pena finishes the champion. Ooh, boy.
That was as shocking of a title fight as I've ever watched.
Yeah, I wasn't necessarily there watching GSP and Matt Serra won.
That's what I mean. Like, I don't remember that. I know there's other ones where odds-wise they might be a bigger upset. But, like, to me personally, I have never been more shocked watching an MMA fight than I was when Juliana Pena was able to rally back after that first round beating she took.
Good opportunity for both of these women, for Nunes to gain the relevancy once more in the bantamweight division. And if you look at it for Juliana Pena, looking to keep it high and tight. Matt, great opportunity for both these women, sitting at 9-3 on the card. Weechar. Losses for me. Hamdi Abdelwahab, Drew Dober, Alex Morono. For you, Pavlovich, Dober, you got Abdelwahab and Morono.
I'm definitely going to rewatch that Dober-Alves fight at some point, though. That's
Ron Moore, who are you picking? Oh, boy, I'm not answering that, Ron. Come on. It's too crass.
That is too crass. And I know you beat me up, Ron, because you've stated that multiple times.
But you hit up the super chat, so it's appreciated.
Thank you.
But it's still too crass. Bruce Buffer getting amped
7
up.
parlays with Pena. Nate L. Settle down.
Bruce with the red and the blue. It's a strange color scheme.
I don't think you can tell Bruce Buffer how to dress. How dare you?
He's been rocking the paperclip too much.
That'd be like if I walked up to Michael Jordan, I was like, hey, I know a few things about ball, too.
Maybe you could teach him something.
Probably slap the shit out of me. Did you see that video of those kids, like, going to the Charlotte Hornets facility and they were waiting in the parking lot thinking they were going to see LaMelo? They're like, damn, is that LaMelo? Because some limo pulled up and Michael Jordan walks out and they go, can we get a pic? And he goes, put them phones away, kids. And then they just keep on walking.
Oh, boy.
It's good stuff.
Amanda Nunes working out those hip flexors like knee before an intermediate baseball game. That was a big stretch I like to do.
That's what you. No one tells you that. If you play sports when you grow up, keep on stretching your hips even when you're in your 20s, because they lock up something terrible at a certain point, and it makes your life 1,000 times worse.
I was big with that stretch. They had us doing a lot of strength and conditioning, getting ready for the old natties. Nunes Pena, Bruce Buffer on the call. Pena's going to get knocked out in the first round, says Tim Ellis. And Mo300 Deuce saying, regardless of Semmelsberger or not, you guys are the best. I appreciate you guys. Well, thank you. Looking to hit 10-3 on the night. 10-3. Nunes, champion at featherweight, a division that's like sticking your head in a fishbowl and trying to see who's in there. It's going to be tough because there's not much to see.
Did you know where that sentence was going when you started it? Because it didn't feel like that 3 words into it.
Knew what was up.
In the fish...
This guy looking like an old young Hunter Hearst Helmsley. He's well dressed. He's got the blue and the brown. A little bit of a beard going on.
Now the creative director of the WWE.
SummerSlam tonight.
Because some shenanigans tomorrow night.
Or, no, it's tonight.
Well, okay, just because we're Sunday right now.
But Logan Paul wrestled tonight. He beat The Miz.
I always thought WWE pay-per-views were Sunday every week.
They threw a switch up. It used to be Sunday and then Raw was the old follow-up.
Well, no, but I always thought it was done like this on purpose, to where UFC was Saturday, WWE was Sunday. They don't interfere with each other. They both maximize pay-per-view.
They knew it was weak.
True, and that very well could be the case. I just always thought that, yeah, they were on different nights. I was wrong.
Juliana Pena. Janie's saying, who's winning?
Nobody.
You are, Janie. Garza. And Ron Moore was saying, the start of Shimmy Shimmy Ya. Ooh, baby, I like it raw.
I'm sure ODB did.
Ooh, baby, I like it raw.
Spill some out for your boy.
Yo. Shimmy Shimmy Ya,
Gone
Shimmy
too
Ya,
soon.
Shimmy Ya. Give me the mic so I can take away.
I had a friend at work the other day who had never heard MF Doom before, and I completely changed his life. Like, straight up created a core memory with this man listening to accordion.
I'm a big MF Doom guy.
How can you not be?
We get set for the first round. Nunes, Pena. The rematch at bantamweight. I anticipate
Touch of the gloves.
we get another finish. I think we're going to get another finish in this one.
Probably. Again, if Nunes looks like prime Nunes, then I don't expect this fight to go very long. But Pena put up one hell of a fight the first time around, took an incredible beating, and then really put it on the champion as it went late. So
Juliana Pena really hunched over here early. Amanda Nunes switched stance a few
did
times.
she watch the Carlos Esparza performance and take any notes from it, perhaps?
Hopefully not. Do not engage.
Like, do you think... It's wild to me that, like, Charles Oliveira and Carlos Esparza do the same sport. Not really, but they do.
55% of the fans out fighting 8 picks going with Amanda Nunes to get the win. And, man, I mean, this is a fight between a featherweight champ, a bantamweight champ. All the fans in attendance, they're amped. And for Amanda Nunes, her last win was a year and 3 months ago against video game streamer Megan Anderson.
Yeah, it's tough.
Megan Anderson.
And that was my big point when Amanda Nunes fought Chris Cyborg the first time around. It was, hey, Chris Cyborg's been fighting people who she was supposed to beat for years and years and years now. And the fact that Amanda Nunes is a legitimate threat means a lot. Because when you're in a fight that's a lot harder than you thought it was going to be, then it automatically makes it a lot more competitive from that point on as Juliana Pena rushes forward with a combo. But for Amanda Nunes, she's kind of in that cyborg category. Like, you fought Felicia Spencer, you fought Jermaine Durandamy, you fought Megan Anderson. Like, everybody expected you to win all of those fights. At a certain point, people are going to reach your level.
And I mean, Pena really trying to close the distance here. Nunes kick heavy. You can see from the southpaw stance, I'm anticipating the old head kick against Holly Holm.
I'm surprised Nunes didn't start in the orthodox, though, because that's normally her best position. Again, she can switch stances. Not to call her the female Marvin Hagler, but kind of a little bit. So, interesting to see her start in southpaw, though.
2 minutes into the first round so far. A lot of good flurries. Good action.
Nothing too clean slanted.
Ooh.
Oh, it was a big right hand over the top from Nunes.
Good shots there from Pena at distance.
I feel like
Juliana, the
Nunes
level
landed
up
better
in
ones in the
striking
middle.
from Juliana Pena. You got to talk about it.
It's very Cindy Dandois-esque, where it's just throwing a lot. Like, Juliana Pena's best thing is not that her strikes are great, she just throws a lot. And if you're throwing a lot and keep your hands up above your head, then you're not going to get knocked out.
She looks worlds different than when she came into the UFC. Known as a grappler.
I still don't think her striking's great. It's a lot of just, like, arm punches. There's no kicks. There's no real head movement. It's just a lot of volume, I think, more than anything. And I think the threat of the grappling opens up a lot of her striking, too. Like, that was Jody Escabel-esque.
Kai Kara France had a lot of air before he heated up. 2 minutes and 10 seconds remain here. Nunes starting to really feel her own range in this one. You got Pena really starting to guess on these ones. Oh, and she gets dropped by the back of a left hand.
The right hook seems to be hitting her over the ear a little bit. And I don't know if it's just knocking off her equilibrium or what, but...
A little bit of a slippy dip there. Amanda Nunes. Juliana Pena.
Good round for Nunes so far, though. It hasn't really extended herself either.
Just about to say, not really expending a ton of energy in this one.
Which is really going to be important.
Oh, Pena's on wobbly legs. She ate a left hand for her troubles.
Right
and
hand.
Nunes goes to the legs. Meant to say right. Ended up with left. La droite puis la gauche. And Amanda Nunes switching over to southpaw.
And I can't remember the last time we saw Amanda Nunes fight for minutes at a time in southpaw.
Yeah.
Like, normally, she's an orthodox fighter who will go to southpaw during combinations, but then she'll always go back to orthodox. So, really interesting evolution.
Maybe it's a little bit of a mind game to try and make Pena bite on some of these. And maybe it was something that Pena didn't train for.
It's just still wild, though. That'd be like seeing somebody hit 40 home runs right-handed, then all of a sudden they just go lefty and start having a bunch of success. Still wild to see.
Like Cedric Mullins.
Cedric.
Less than a minute remaining here, round number 1. Nunes challenging for the belt against Juliana Pena. If you told me that 2 years ago, I would have told you were crazy. Good left hand lands for Pena.
But this sport is by far the craziest one on the face of the earth.
M1 Global Night Fights. That was the craziest.
M1 Medieval. I always wanted John Lineker to take a one-off fight with them because I feel like John Lineker in Knight's armor would be very overpowered.
Takedown attempt here from Nunes. 20 seconds left. Good knee from Pena. Good knee from Pena. Ooh,
right
man,
hand from
Nunes
Pena.
eats a right hand. 10 seconds remain.
Good
Ooh,
left
big
from
left
Nunes.
hand for the challenger.
Pena's eating them all, though.
Pena's eating them well. Pena's eating them bad. That's the end of round number 1. Nunes up a round.
But that was the case in the first fight, too.
Tied in terms of the total strikes. What are the odds on this fight? I don't know what the live odds are. Cedric Mullins. My God, I'm from Baltimore. Love you guys. Cedric Mullins.
He's awesome.
He's a fun guy to watch.
Not as good of a year as he had last year, but still a good player.
Plays the game the right way. Didn't tell anybody the issues he was facing behind the scenes.
Did not.
Like if Brock Lesnar kept fighting. Cedric Mullins just popping dingers and playing the field.
30-30 last season.
Like Alfonso Soriano, 40-40 member.
Aaron Judge can get 40 home runs like that, though, so it's
The
easy
Fonz.
stuff.
All right, Matt, we're getting set for the second round. And one saying, how is that tied? Amanda's up 1-0. They're just tied in terms of the total strikes. That's all. Doesn't mean much. Showing good highlights of Juliana Pena.
Close round.
Travis saying Mullins is legit. And we get set for our second round of 5 between Nunes and Pena. And if you remember from the first fight, this is when Juliana Pena threw it down, threw it on, and became the champ.
Nunes does have a little bit of damage on her eye. Curious to see if that bothers her.
A little bit of damage from the southpaw. Mike G, mediocre outfielder, but took my nephews to meet him and was pure class. Well, I like to hear that.
Ted Williams knew her great-grandfather.
Oh!
Big right hand! That check right hook's hitting her every time.
Nunes drops Juliana Pena
Don't
early
let
in
that
the
take
second
away
round.
from the fact that our great-grandfather had a feud with Ted Williams on the banks of the Miramichi River.
That Ted Williams did not know about. Didn't know.
You
Teddy
can't prove that.
Williams. Juliana
Big
Pena.
shot by Amanda Nunes.
Juliana Pena on the cover of Panini Donruss. Amanda Nunes on the cover of Panini Prism, the early edition.
Bought a box of those last week.
I have a Claudia Gadelia autograph. Chris Dawkins and
Right hand!
Oh!
That was clean.
Juliana Pena does her best version of Dricus Duplessis, running across, throwing shots, and Amanda Nunes hits her with
She
a hook
destroyed her with that
and
right
drops
hand.
her.
Big striking advantage for old Amanda Nunes.
Yeah, Amanda Nunes heating up.
But the striking of Juliana. Chef's kiss, as Craig would say.
First thing to say, Canadian. Am I too drunk for the channel? Let me know. No, Rob Lawrence, you're here every week. You're good. 3:10 remains in the second round, where Pena was heating up in the first contest.
Ooh, big right hand by Pena, though.
Nunes
Amanda
looking to
did-
counter off it.
She had to eat a few, though.
A little bit of a mouse under the right eye of the challenger. 2:55 remaining here in the round. Pena pushing the action. Mike G made it home. Good for you.
Good for you,
Safe
Mike
drive
G.
home. Good man.
Pena is landing, though, in these exchanges, and it does worry me a little bit from Nunes' perspective.
Can't wait for Amanda Nunes to take on Ketlin Vieira next if she wins, and for Pena,
Ketlin Vieira next if she wins. Wow.
Ketlin Vieira wins main events. You might not like them, but they happen. Ketlin.
That's why we don't work for the marketing team of the UFC. Listen, guys, some of these fights are going to be good, some of them won't be.
Ooh, big right hand lands for Juliana
Front
Pena.
kick, too, from her.
2 minutes and 5 seconds remain.
And I am surprised we haven't seen much wrestling from either athlete so far.
Don't let it distract from the fact that Pena has been dropped twice in this round.
Well,
Oh!
Or that The Undertaker threw Mankind off a 28-foot steel cage.
In 1998?
Yeah, I'll never forget it. I don't even think I was born, but it's still a core memory.
Barely. 140 remaining in the second round. Pena bringing it. Eats right hand.
Right hand on the ear all night long.
Juliana Pena. Ooh, the uppercut. Ooh, Amanda Nunes. Ooh, shaking out that right hand. No, Pena's down again.
This is like Eric Anders, Khalil Roundtree.
3 drops for Amanda Nunes in this round. It's like watching Matt Frivola fight Renato Valdez.
Shout out.
Mike G, as soon as I figure out the super chat, you do what you need, pal. Want to see more Menov Fiorot.
So do I. Great fighter.
Minute remains. 3 knockdowns officially for Nunes in this round.
Big
is it enough for a 10-8?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
3 knockdowns is, yeah.
Juliana Pena. Just like Chumbawamba. Just keeps coming.
Gets knocked down. She'll get up again.
Oh. Pena in the exchanges. Nunes really going offense for defense here in this one.
That's the thing. She will eat some shots to land her own big power punches, but the problem is her big power punches are equivalent to like 5, 6, 7 shots from Pena.
Nunes doing a good job here. 30 seconds remain. Ooh, faking the leg kick and hurting Juliana Pena once more. You have to think another drop, like a 4th knockdown in a round. I know it's not kickboxing. At 2, we would have been done. Maybe Mike Beltran steps in. Oh, good clinch
Nunes
work
is
here.
getting more tired, though.
Oh, 100%.
And that's the thing. If you can't knock her out in the second round of a grueling fight, it's going to be a lot harder to knock her out in the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th. So maybe Pena can rally.
That's the end of round number 2. A 10-8 round for Amanda Nunes. Up 20-17 is Nunes. Only up 1 in terms of the total strikes. 3 knockdowns in that round.
Much more powerful strikes, though.
Pena down. If Pena wins, do you think she would want to move up and fight Nunes at 145? Nope. Defend against somebody like Alexa Grasso. Grasso's at 125, Brian. I'd say, again...
I mean, she'd probably be thrilled if she got Alexa Grasso next.
Ketlin Vieira is my guess, because she's won 2 main events in a row. Holly Holm, Misha Tate, ledges. So you got to do that one.
Yeah, I guess.
And it's the co-main event to a big pay-per-view.
Or the main event of a fight night.
I mean, never forget, Rafael Dos Anjos defended his belt against Donald Cerrone in a fight night main event.
On a Fox card, though. Like a big Fox card. The co-main event of that was Alistair Overeem versus JDS. Like, that was a wild card.
2-0 DLC thing for Nunes.
Oh, yeah. Probably one of them was 10-8.
The last one, eh? The house that Dirk built is where they're fighting.
I love Dirk Nowitzki.
A team that once had Steve Nash and Jason Kidd. Ten seconds into the round, Nunes forcing.
I love Steve Nash, but he's got to stop making TikToks and start coaching the Brooklyn Nets.
Juliana Pena back, South African soccer coach, basketball the biggest stage. Spinning elbow lands for Amanda Nunes.
It did not. It landed to the chest.
It hit the chin.
Her arm was up like this.
James St. Rossi comes out of retirement. I don't think that happens.
She hasn't fought in so many years. She's not a kid. She's been wrestling. Like, I think she's pretty far removed from the sport.
Amanda Nunes, the smile. She loves to smile. Smiling
even when things aren't going her way. Like, Tommy Hearns, I remember, got knocked out 2 seconds after he smiled at Marvin Hagler, so just don't do it.
Debbie's telling us the deep water's coming. Takedown attempt from Pena wraps her up.
Nunes is slowing down, but Pena needs to win these rounds and needs to win them convincingly, and maybe even then she only gets a draw, which is crazy.
Pena looking to fight her way out. Over a minute into the third
Good
round.
body kick. Still can't believe Brandon Moreno won via liver kick.
Can't believe Alessandro Pantoja jumped the back so quick.
Who knew it was Damian Maia with, like, really good boxing? I didn't. It's cool, though.
Mike G hits up the super chat. Thank you, Mike G. And glad to see you made it home. Good kick by Juliana Pena. Not a lot of action out of the challenger now.
Not really.
She figured, hey, 3 knockdowns is probably going to be it. Oh, now we're getting into these exchanges. This is what got her in the second round of their last fight.
Nunes is still hitting her with big shots, though.
Appreciate it, Mike G.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Mike.
Virtual fist bump. 3 minutes remaining. Round number 3.
And if Nunes can keep this pace, I do fully expect her to be able to win, because she has been fully outclassing Pena.
Nunes going in for the takedown. Pena's got her neck, but it's on the wrong side.
Yeah, no threat of the guillotine here.
Nunes looking to step over. Juliana Pena trying to keep active.
Like Tony Ferguson off of her back, staying active.
Not like Tony Ferguson against Beneil Dariush.
I love the call out from Jakar Close, by the way.
Yeah. It's
really
believable.
good one. Exactly. Like, you're on the come up. People know who you are because of who you were in the Beneil Dariush fight. Tony's on his way out. Let's just kind of be honest. I love Tony Ferguson, but still, I think it's a fun fight.
Juliana Pena trying to stay active off her back. She's definitely trying to push forward and try and get one of those arms or try and lock up a triangle, but Nunes keeping it hot and heavy with that upper body pressure.
Pena's really going to have to win that 4th or 5th round and definitely need a stoppage, probably.
Nunes looking to keep it down. Good opportunity for Pena. Pena trying to get those legs in. She's going to get an arm. Nunes out. She's going to get an arm. Nunes out.
No, she's not.
Pena working hard to try and make this work.
Nunes doing too good of a job of keeping her elbows in the inside of Pena, though, so there's not really a big danger of her getting one of them trapped under her arm and then, of course, by her leg after.
Over 2.5 hits for Pablo.
Nice.
A lot of position off her back. A lot of time.
Life of Pablo. An underrated album.
Is it, though?
Oh, yeah. It's got my favorite Kanye West song on it. No More Parties in L.A. is by far the best Kanye song. Please, baby.
I like Wolves on that.
Oh, God.
Minute 20 remaining.
Drive Slow?
Good elbows here from Nunes.
I guess that's not on there. What am I thinking of? St. Pablo is what I'm thinking of.
Hurricane's a good one with Canada's The Weekend.
Oh, so we can both agree that there's a bunch of good songs on it.
That's a different album. That's Donda.
No, but FML's on that one, and that is The Weekend.
Minute remaining here in this round. Another 10-8, I wouldn't say so.
No, probably not. Definitely a dominant round for Nunes, though.
Yeah, Pena did a good job on the feet. Looks like she's got a cut in the hairline here. Grabbing an arm up of Nunes.
The omoplata would be nice.
Nunes in a tricky spot, knee on belly.
If she steps over, though, she should have side control.
Pena, yeah.
Out of it.
Surprised that Nunes wants to get back into this guard. That cut is getting bad.
A lot of blood just came off her head. I don't know if that was a headbutt, though, when Nunes came
Yeah,
down.
I thought so. Good point. 30 seconds remaining here in the third round.
Nunes does seem to have much better cardio this time around, though. Big elbow from on top.
Amanda
Much more
Nunes,
one-sided fight.
challenger and champion.
Wild. It's like if Stipe gets the rematch against Francis. That'd be a fight I'd like to see.
Just a maverick in this division.
Who?
Amanda Nunes.
Oh, yeah, one of the greatest
Ooh,
women's
the
athletes
elbow.
of all time.
Referee stopping it. I got it at 10-9. Amanda Nunes, 10-8
I
round
guess
2.
Serena Williams is like easily the greatest women's athlete of all time, I would say. But I wonder, like, where does Amanda Nunes fit into this? Like, she has a seat at the table,
What
I'd
about
say.
Christine Sinclair?
Serena Williams has
What about
like,
Haley Wickenheiser?
Serena Williams has like more Grand Slams than
What about
anybody has
Kenny
anything.
Granado?
There's a lot of great ones, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I feel like Amanda Nunes, if she is able to win her title back, deserves to be mentioned with some of the greatest female athletes.
And
of
one
all time.
saying 30-26. I've got it 30-26 with a 10-8 second.
I would agree with that. That third round is quite dominant, though, as well. Especially with the ground and pound near the end of it.
Good one there for Nunes for sure. Juliana Pena fighting an uphill battle in this one.
Gotta rally back.
Tried to pull hard on the submission attempt and paid the price for the misstep. Like Javi Baez pimping a long fly ball.
That really bothered you.
Oh, yeah. Do I think there's going to be a stoppage, James? James, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I don't know.
James is live betting like an MFer right now.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you, James. All right, fourth round. Championship rounds. Nunes, Pena. Pena the champ. Nunes the challenger. Champ 145, though. We've had a heck of a night, so thank you for joining in with Fight Night Picks. The likes, the super chats, appreciated. Amanda Nunes going
Another
for the takedown. Pena was trying to sink the guillotine. Pena unsuccessful. Now we're up against the cage. Up
The Mark
against the
Coleman
cage.
special.
No cup to provide a fulcrum in this matchup. Ladies matchup. No tie cups. No steel ties.
I guess. Can't say that was ever something I thought about until right now.
Steve Mazzagatti did not make the journey wearing the referee's jersey. He is often in Las Vegas. Mazzagatti. Hook him up!
You like playing Where's Waldo with Mazzagatti more than anybody I know.
Big Maz guy. Pena trying to grab that arm.
That was
Oh!
a big right hand. 2 clean shots from on top.
Eating the ground and pound. The champ, though, tough as nails. Got dropped 3 times in the second round. Still here.
Showing great heart, that's for sure.
Good opportunity here for Pena. Trying to sync up these submissions, and Nunes quick to it. Ooh, could we have a triangle? Nunes in a bad spot.
Just keeps on doing the same thing.
Yeah, same spot, knee on belly. Nunes out once more. Lands an elbow to the shoulder.
But if you're Nunes, you do want to get past the full guard eventually, just because these submissions are just sort of a pain, you know?
Big shot. That really hampered the progress of Pena there. Good shot there from Nunes.
Really getting lit up.
Pena doing a job to try and stay busy off her back. She's grabbing the arm. Nunes
Oh
in a
my
bad
goodness,
spot.
she's getting an armbar.
She gonna get it.
I think she might, honestly.
Amanda Nunes in a bad spot. Pena's pulling.
This would be an insane comeback.
Nunes trying to get out.
Nunes
going inverted triangle.
No, she isn't.
Trying to get that arm out of there. You think this is the point where Nunes stops playing with fire on the ground?
Not really, because none of those submissions were close. That wasn't... yeah. Like, the armbar was a little bit, but, yeah, I wasn't...
Nunes from side control. Less submission
But that's my whole
abilities here for
point.
Pena.
If you just get out of the full guard of Juliana Pena, she won't be able to threaten with those submissions as much.
You see shoulder strikes in the immediate area
don't.
for Nunes. No shoulder strikes, eh?
I don't think anybody goes for them except for Connor against the Wash Cowboy.
We saw some last week.
Sure.
Amanda Nunes from full guard here. Pena up against the cage. I think Juliana Pena should try and shimmy out and throw the old Hail Mary Boston Crab. Don't see that very often.
That might be the most just stand up and knock her out thing I've ever heard in my life.
Like the walls of Jericho. Same deal.
Some guy does have a win from that.
Boston Crab?
Yeah, there is a win.
I know. Pena eating a lot of elbows here, and she grabs another arm, and Nunes is out, and Pena's back up to her feet, and Nunes grabs the back, and Pena's a bloody mess.
She really is.
Pena does not look good.
No.
Mike Beltran's going to get a good look at this.
I don't think she's going to stop it, though.
Nunes is going to go in there with reckless abandon. Ooh, duck there from Nunes, goes
Smart
for the takedown. And Pena's off her back once more.
Why
A
play with
minute
fire on the feet?
and 20 seconds remaining. Pena's high here. Going sub.
I think that'd be against USADA rules.
Minute and 10 seconds remaining. Round number 4. Championship rounds.
One-sided fight so far, though, for Amanda Nunes. Other than that one Hail Mary submission attempt.
Juliana Pena landing a shot to eat a shot. Trying to grab the arms. Not really able to do it.
If we see a Jacare Geko Musasi up kick, I'm going to lose my damn mind.
What if we see a Randa Marcos up kick? Luana Pinheiro.
I think then Amanda Nunes will be fine.
The old DQ. Back up on the feet. The stand-up. They're throwing wild, and Juliana Pena is a bloody mess. And
big uppercut from Amanda Nunes. Another trip takedown.
Nunes gets another takedown. I wonder if the judges score this a 10-8.
They very well could.
I mean, Pena's been active from guard, completely outstruck, taken down. Forearm choke from Nunes. Real meathead choke. Alexander Romanov, the last one to get a win in the UFC by forearm choke.
He's smiling down proudly somewhere.
Marcos Rogerio de Lima. Ooh, big elbow to the chin there from Nunes to Pena. 5 seconds remain. That's a big
Just
round for the
brutalizing stuff from Amanda Nunes.
Juliana Pena with more strikes on the numbers. More strikes, so they say.
Not all significant strikes are created equally, though.
First fight was definitely a fluke. Well, there were a
How
lot
about
of
that?
people that told me otherwise.
But the good thing is for Amanda Nunes, she is able to go in here and kind of prove that, hey, it wasn't just like, you know, or sorry, I guess, yeah, she proved that it wasn't just a one-time thing. Like, she can go out there and dominate Juliana Pena. She just have to beat her by, like, 10-second knockout, and that's the only way she can beat Pena. Like, she's really been dominating this matchup.
She can get back on the package of cards that I bought that had a Claudia Gadelha autograph. Claudia, former title challenger.
A pioneer of the division.
Tough.
She choked out Karolina Kowalkiewicz at UFC 212, and that was a big deal at the time.
And saying that's a 10-7 round. I just,
No.
again, the activity off of Pena off her back. She had a tight submission. They show the clash of heads there. Near the end, yeah, Nunes kind of dumped.
I don't think you guys understand what you need for a 10-7 round. Like, I don't even understand. I would have to fight Shavkat Rakhmonov and somehow make it out of the first round, and that would probably be a 10-7.
A hug. Joe Rogan doesn't like that. 5 seconds in.
Oh, yeah. Joe Rogan would just wheel kicked her by now and won, though.
10 second in. James called, I need a damn stoppage, please. Why?
Probably for bets and such.
Juliana Pena and Amanda Nunes going for the double leg. And Juliana Pena was going to look for the neck. And now she gets the neck. Nunes from full guard. You don't normally see guillotines hit in full guard.
Yeah, you do.
And it didn't.
Full guard's where you want to be if you have a guillotine, though.
Pena holding on to the arms. I bet they're saying some kind words in there.
Oh, I'm sure.
Hey, thanks for accepting this fight. Hey, we made it. Pay-per-view points. Main event. Amanda Nunes. Back in top control. The arm, the triangle attempt for
If she
Pena.
just doesn't get finished for 4 minutes, this will be an easy win for her.
Amanda Nunes stuck. Amanda Nunes knee on belly. That's been a great defense for her. You don't... Knee on belly. It's fun. Pena looking to go armbar, and Nunes back down. Nunes grabs the head. Imagine. Anaconda roll.
Just dominating stuff. Going for a Darce choke, it looks like. Blood just pouring out of the forehead of Pena. You can see it coming out like a faucet. That's gross.
Like a stuck pig. Back up, standing. Doesn't want to get loose here. Minute and a half into round number 5.
Fun fight, though, honestly.
Amanda Nunes looking to hook him up. Hip throw, and Pena back down. Takedowns on point for Amanda Nunes. It's training with Garrett Armfield that led to this. Ooh, the old elbows from Nunes, and Pena turns away.
Is that who she's going to thank first when she gets the mic?
Garrett Armfield.
Armfield, shout out to you.
Future UFC bantamweight.
Pena
That's
looks,
a bad look.
That's
at
like a
Juliana
Dada
Pena.
5000 look.
It was at this moment.
Going for the Kimura? I thought she was stepping over for it.
Oh my goodness
That
gracious.
woman looks very tired and very uncomfortable.
Still fighting for anything. Nearing the halfway mark, round number 5. A fight that hasn't been close.
Lot of blood on the cage. Ooh.
Trying to sync up that arm. Amanda Nunes, dominant position. Folks, we got about 200 tuning in and just under 100 likes. It would mean a lot. Ooh, Amanda Nunes.
Okay, here's my... Oh, yeah, she got the back. She's going for the rear naked choke.
Got the hook on one arm. Now she's in half guard.
When you get bored beating someone up for 25 minutes by, like, minute 21? Like, wouldn't you just want to be like, why are we doing this still?
Mike Beltran's there for it.
He is. He's out for blood tonight. That's a lot of blood.
Ooh, big shots here from Nunes. Lot of blood. What does Nunes fight after this? Ketlin Vieira.
And the crowd goes mild.
That's a daytime main event that they throw on like a Singapore card.
They're like, oh, did you know Amanda Nunes is fighting at Thursday at 11 a.m.? It's like, oh my goodness.
It's like when Neil Magny fought Michael Chiesa on a Wednesday.
It's very weird.
Juliana Pena off her back, trying to stay active.
Nunes doing more than enough, though, to win this fight and even win the last round. Up kick, though, from Pena.
Brian, Pena looks like Ric Flair when he fought Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 24. That's Lyoto Machida-esque ground and pound right there from...
That was a nice shot.
Amanda Nunes trying to go man of crucifix.
Just a dominant performance.
Pena's got a strong arm to fight that leg.
The strong arm of Juliana Pena.
Amanda Nunes taking the back.
That's so much.
Getting the
blood.
hooks. 45
Great
seconds
transition.
remaining.
Oh, she's going to get it. I
Neck
think.
crank. It's tight.
This is in there deep.
It's tight. Tight, tight, tight. Oh, no.
No.
35 seconds remain.
Can try to go to mount.
Half
She
guard
wants
for
the
Nunes.
stoppage.
This is one heck of a dominant performance and an arm triangle choke attempt from Nunes.
Oh, yeah, she looked great. Definitely going to win a one-sided decision.
But will they put her on the talk shows that they put Juliana Pena on?
Probably not.
Darren Rovell doesn't like this fight.
Portuguese
10 seconds remain.
talk shows.
Amanda Nunes, Juliana Pena, who's dancing and smiling. 2 seconds remain.
Fun fight.
And Amanda Nunes, your champ again.
Definitely reclaimed her title.
Well, folks, we certainly appreciate you.
do.
We got a big-time card coming up next week. Jamal Hill, Thiago Santos. You've got Vicente Luque taking on Jeff Neal in the co-main event. The finale at heavyweight and at flyweight of The Ultimate Fighter. I don't know if the coaches are going to be in attendance because one coach just got brutalized in a one-sided beatdown. That's why they should do the season ending before the coaches fight.
I agree.
I don't know anything. We also have Dana White's Contender Series, and that main event for that card is fire. And I can't wait for it.
It's a really fun one. We have a lot of great MMA action to get ready for this week. I'm super fired up for next weekend's main event with Jamal Hill versus Thiago Santos. Santos, you know, he's a guy at 205, hasn't necessarily looked as good post-knee injuries, but I feel like he has gotten incrementally better every single time out there. And for Jamal Hill, he still needs a big name on his resume to go out there and really demand some of these bigger names in the division. So I think it's a really fun fight to have.
Going 10-3 on the week with Fight Night Picks. It's another big one. I don't know what's going on. Something in the water here in Fredericton, New Brunswick, Canada. But an absolutely wild week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you check out those shows as they become available.
We're going to say all this, and then Juliana Pena is going to win a 49-46 unanimous decision.
Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks. And as we always say,
Let's get into it.